Hey! Hi! What's up, guys? It's been a whole week, and you're listening to Skycat Live! What's up, guys? It's 5:26 p.m. on August 2nd, 2024. That's a Friday, August 2nd, 2024. Are you about to go downtown, bitch? It's 5:27 p.m. About to be prime time and Friday, America, West Coast, all over the world, baby. It's Friday night, and we're about to have some fun. We're going to have some prime time video gaming. We're going to do some Rust, some EvE, some FFXI, and some 7 Days to Die, and it all rhymes, and I love you. Hello, it has been a week since I was banned off YouTube for displaying The Stranger, which featuring Orson Welles from 1946 on my YouTube channel, and they were okay with me showing Night of the Living Dead, which was a movie that came 35 years later, but they weren't okay with me showing a movie that was from 35 years before. And the difference is I think one guy was rich and the other guy wasn't. And if you have money, you're allowed to sue people after you're dead. And if you don't have money, you're not allowed to sue people after you're dead. And so, I don't know, George Romero cared much about, Night of the Living Dead by the year 2000. I'm not sure he did. But I think he wanted the whole world to have it because he let it go to public domain and did not pursue the IP or anything like that. So, interesting violation of my fucking essentially my streamer rights there by YouTube, where I definitely went to a royalty-free film that cannot be charged for, cannot be discriminated against. It can be seen in public. It can be shown in public parks. It can be given away freely. It can be copied, stolen, sold. I think you can even sell it. I think I'm fairly sure. But what I don't think you can do is ban my channel for showing it. I believe that is actually against federal law. And I would try to take down YouTube if I didn't like YouTube, but I don't. I like YouTube. Got no issue with YouTube. I don't care about their rules. I know that they're just trying to protect people, like artists who make stuff, and I'm with it. I'm down with it. I didn't like the violation of my, essentially, rights and the suppression of my account for a week, and the assassination of my career and all that other stuff. Sorry, I forgot to go public here. 1 second. There we go. Da-da-da. What are we playing today? Today we are playing Rust Hardcore Zombies and EvE Online and FFXI Horizon. I'm going to get to the video games here, I swear to God. I'm just kind of getting through all the stuff here. I apologize. And I'm going to drop it out the big face here, but I got to change the title real quick first. There we go. It has been, it's been 12 days. God damn. Anyways, we're going up under Rust on YouTube, and it's good to be back to YouTube, you know? Fuck you, YouTube, for banning my channel again, for something that is technically legal. I believe if people can show The Stranger in a public park to kids and not face intellectual property rights because it's in the public domain and completely free, I don't know why you should be able to ban my channel. I think you took the side of my attacker before you took the side of mine, and because of that, I hope that YouTube fails. I hope they lose all of their money and lose their company. If you're going to back the fucking bullies of the world over the actual fucking content creators that actually make you your goddamn dime, I hope that you lose your company like Microsoft. If you continue to treat us like this, I hope you lose your company. I really do. I'm sorry, but that is like where I fall on it. You know, I hope you lose your company. I really do, kind of, because it's, you know, it's unacceptable to ban me for a week, affect my career, assassinate my character, and try to say that I did something wrong for showing a movie that's in public domain. And so if I had any money or clout or sway, I would come after YouTube's entire empire right now with a couple of lawyers and come after him for essentially assassination of character and trying to kill my career and all this other stuff, but I can't. They've got so many lawyers and billions of dollars, you just get lost in the sauce. So congratulations, YouTube. Your money and your corruption and your lawyers and your bullshit is still protecting you, but sooner or later we'll just go somewhere else, you know? And so thank you, YouTube, for all the wonderful free service you've allowed me and given me, and all the free entertainment you've given me over the years. And I hate to call for your downfall, but every time that you back some fucking rando who tries to report someone over the actual content creator themselves, I yearn for you to, I secretly yearn for you to die. I kind of hope for you to go tits up, and a better platforming service comes along that respects the creator and also respects the audience too, as opposed to just respecting the audience, right? And, you know, I really don't think you respect creators at all. I don't think so. I'm fairly sure of it. So, anyways, that's my little spiel about getting banned off YouTube for a movie that is in the public domain. We can, like, I'm going to drop it off the big face now so you can see what I'm talking about. This video was in the public domain, and I take serious goddamn moral issue with YouTube, and I'd be happy if their empire was fallen. I'd be happy with it. I'd be okay with it. I would not defend them or try to stop it or be like, no, YouTube gave us 20 good years. After the attempted assassination of my career and trying to kill my job, essentially, for an entire week, I pretty much lost all of the momentum I had been building for 3 years. And so I do want YouTube to die and fall. If you're going to treat content creators like that for putting public domain movies on their fucking stream, I don't really believe you deserve a platform. I do not believe you deserve a platform, YouTube. I think you have gone too far. You have joined the fascist one percenters, and I think you are essentially trying to control the entire world now. And it's unfortunate, but I do believe this. Your censorship and your suppression and your banning and your algorithm and your taking the fucking public over the goddamn people who actually put the content on your fucking channel, on your platform and all this. And that's okay. I mean, take the public's word. I get it. But I mean, why would you take some fucking rando report from a rando over the content creator telling you that the movie's in the public domain? It's because you took the billions of dollars and you bought an algorithm to solve your public outreach and your your customer service, and you don't care. It's all automated and algorithmed, and you destroy careers with it. So I hope you lose your career. I hope that YouTube loses its career. You want to play with people's careers like this and just toss them away on an algorithm's fucking say so? I hope that YouTube goes tits up and loses every single cent. As I stream to YouTube and I publish to YouTube. You know, I do. I kind of secretly hope for your downfall as I use you for everything you've got. I use your server bandwidth. I upload thousands of gigs to your fucking servers and stuff. But if you're going to try to assassinate the career of a content creator for putting a public domain movie on their fucking channel, on the say-so of some fucking piece of shit random that has no fucking say in it, I don't really understand that. I don't believe you deserve your platform, and I don't think you should be where you are, you know? I don't think you should be making all that money, all that stuff. And so there's my anti-conglomerate fuck you YouTube speech at the start of my session. I'm terribly sorry. I don't mean to get off on a rant, but you know, getting banned on a week for a movie that is in the public domain, which is something I came to look at, is The Stranger in the public domain, right? Yes, Orson Welles' 1946 film, The Stranger, is in the public domain. YouTube, I could sue you. I could sue you. You absolutely used your algorithm to unjustly, like, essentially kill my career for an entire fucking week. And if I have money for a lawyer, you better fucking believe it. It's the Toasted Toad's truth. I would come after you for everything you fucking got. And this is me publishing my threat to YouTube. You fucking banned me for a week for a movie that's in the public domain. Its copyright was not renewed. There is no copyright on The Stranger. It's why I watched it on my channel. And I honestly really didn't think you'd ban me. The only reason I watched it on my channel was the public domain thing. But yeah, you kind of violated the law. I believe I could take your entire empire now. You have violated federal law, and I absolutely could come after you in the court and take your entire company. You'd have to settle with me for hundreds of millions of dollars probably. I absolutely could. You have violated my fucking rights. You have canceled my career. You have attempted to assassinate my career. You have shadow banned, whatever you want to call it. You have full-blown banned me for a movie that's in the public domain. You can't do that, and I would take your company over at YouTube. You can't do that. I understand that lady who came and shot up your offices now. I didn't understand it when I watched it, but I get it now. I get why she shot up your fucking office, and I kind of, you know, I don't hope for that again. I really don't. But I hope for something really bad to happen to you, YouTube. If you're going to throw my career away for a public domain movie, you can suck a dick and lose your career. You want to throw my career away on a fucking whim? I'll throw your career away on a whim, and I'll sue you for everything you fucking got. You violated my rights, and you have federally fucking violated me, and I want $100 million from you, YouTube. You tried to kill my career in its infancy, and I have a real public case against you. I don't like you anymore, YouTube. You are fucking corrupt. You are corrupt, and you're a piece of shit, richer one percenter that's sitting and violating streamers for public domain stuff. That's the kind of thing criminals do, and I believe you deserve to lose your empire. I'm not going to bandy about it. I will not come around it. One day I'm going to pass the bar and I will sue you. I will pass the bar and I will sue you myself. I swear to fucking God in my father's grave. I will do that. I will come and I will sue you and I will have an issue about this. I will come back and I will say, why did you ban me 3 years into my career when I had momentum and I had viewership and I had, you know, a channel and I had views. I had views once, but I doubt I do now. And you killed my career over a public domain movie. You can suck a dick and lose your career over a public domain movie. See how you like it. Piece of shit, backstab, betrayer, conglomerate, fucking piece of shit, corpo fucking assholes. I'll see you lose your fucking empire before you fucking stand there and violate my rights. I will not do it. I will take you and fucking slaughter you like you're trying to do to me. And I view it as a personal fucking attack, and fuck YouTube. They're out, they're out, they're gone. I don't ever consider them a real entity ever again. You want to throw me out on a public domain and call it a fucking, like an algorithm fuck up or something like that? No, you didn't even actually send a human to come consider my career or anything like that? Yeah, I'm going to use you for everything you've got, and I'm going to hop platforms as soon as possible. I'm going to use you for every cent. I'm going to upload 5,000 gigs to fucking YouTube, and I'm going to use it and try to build my career and all that. And the second I get a chance, I'm going to leave you in the goddamn dust for some other platform, because you shouldn't have fucked me on this public domain thing. I'm going to publish this tonight, and I hope you fucking see it. And I will sue you over this sooner or later in the next 7 years, I believe. You cannot hit me on public domain and try to assassinate my career over Orson Welles' The Stranger. The whole point of running it was not the test to see if you fail. I never dreamed you would fail. I didn't even think about that part of it. I didn't even consider that you might fail this public test, but you did. You violated my career, tried to assassinate my fucking job, and tried to kill my following and stuff, and ban me for a week over a public domain movie. I believe you should lose your entire company over that. And I will take a lawyer and come after you over it. I believe you should lose your entire company over that. You cannot use an algorithm to treat people like this. It is essentially, you know, it's a new form of fascism. You cannot do that. You cannot just send an algorithm to suss out my career. I will take your entire empire that way. You must not do this to me ever again. I will not put public domain movies on my shit, because I can see now that you have a corruption issue, and you have lost your power, and your algorithms are there instead of people, and you don't have anybody with a brain running that company anymore. And it was good the first 15 years, but now you're a corrupt entity, and I don't really care if they shoot up your fucking offices anymore. I don't care. I see now that why that lady was so angry at you. You kill careers with algorithms. You are an insanely bad entity in this world now. YouTube is an insanely bad entity in this world now. They kill people's careers over stuff like public domain or doing attack piece art or whatever. I don't know, man. I think you're playing fascist, and I think you need to just respect people's rights to play a public domain movie in the goddamn public. You can't fucking cancel my career over that. I'll cancel your company. I will sue you in a goddamn court, and I will win too. Because all I have to do is show the jury this. All I have to do is show the jury this and be like, yeah, they canceled my career right at the top of it. I was 3 years in. I had a good, like, you know, right now I'm making like 40, 50 views on YouTube, which is better than 99% of the people on YouTube. It actually is. And you try to kill my goddamn career over a public domain movie, I will fucking kill your career over a public domain movie, YouTube, and see how you like it. Because I've got a righteous case as usual. You cannot violate my rights like that. You cannot try to kill my career. What you do is free, so I'm not going to do anything to you. But thank God it's free. If you charged me for this and you had treated me like this, I would have come and tried to take every cent you've got. Don't you ever fuck people with algorithms like this ever again. And yeah, I'm publishing this to YouTube tonight, and I hope somebody comes back and sees it someday. I doubt it. I don't think anybody ever cares about anything at all. But I mean, if anybody ever cares about anything, they'll come back and they'll see what they did to me here. This is goddamn a violation of my public domain rights. It's a full-blown felony case. YouTube has felonied me. YouTube has felonied me. They have full-blown broken federal law to try to assassinate my career. It is exactly what they did, no more, no less. It is exactly what they did. And if I had any money and a lawyer, I'd go to Legal Eagle. Probably go to Legal Eagle and be like, yeah, I showed Orson Welles' 1946 film The Stranger. It's in the public domain. I can do that. I can show that on my channel. They killed my channel for a week, and I'd like to sue them for the violation of my public domain rights. And I want to get some advice from Legal Eagle about, like, that's literally where I want to take this. Because you can't just cancel me. You cannot just cancel me for showing a public domain movie. Now, I didn't say anything about this for a week. I slept on it for like a week. But you can't do this, and I hope that YouTube fails and dies. You lost your friendship here with me. I will use you to to make $100 million, and then I'll kick you to the fucking curb and call you a worthless piece of shit company that violated my rights back like when I was like 40 or something like that. I'm going to tell this story in 20 years about how YouTube lost their public faith, you know? How YouTube lost their faith with me. I'm gonna tell them. Go back to about summer of 24. They banned me for a week for showing Orson Welles' The Stranger. And yeah, that's how you know that YouTube is just another piece of shit fascist entity that's trying to kill the entire world with their fucking suppression of everything and everyone through their 1%er rich white people fucking, you know, like suppress everybody fucking, you know, suppression of everyone and everything. It's just another goddamn fucking deep state cabal entity now. It's filled with lawyers and bullshit. You know, and I'm sorry, but you cannot cancel my career over public domain. I'll cancel YouTube over that. And you know I'm right. You're lucky I didn't sue you over this. If you violate my rights like this again, I will fucking sue you. I swear to fucking God. I will sue you over this if you do this to me again, YouTube. And I will win, too. I will stand there and I will drum up. I'm a streamer. I will drum up everybody in the world against you. And I will go to court with you and I will take your entire fucking empire. Because you cannot treat people like this. We have rules and laws in this society and in this civilization. You cannot trample people's public domain rights. I cannot be discriminated against for showing The Stranger in public. It's fucking 85 years old. You try to cancel my career over it. I'll cancel your career over it. And so, yes, I will publish this tonight, and I will publish threatening YouTube to YouTube, because that's how stupid YouTube actually is. They've got algorithms instead of people. And I'll actively try to call for the downfall on YouTube and publish it to YouTube. That's how stupid fucking YouTube actually is, you know? So anyways, thank you so much for paying attention to my rant here. We're going to move on and go see how my base is doing, see if I was raided or whatever, see if somebody used inside knowledge to get in here. We'll see. Usually when I come in the morning, somebody's used inside streamer knowledge or ESP to just take my base or rob my TC or something like that. But no, it appears that I was left alone, which is good, you know. Like for a couple of like months, I was logging in every day to somebody else's TC with a lock on it, and all the mats were still in the TC, but all they did was bust my lock somehow, or well, they busted the TC somehow by like no clipping in. They busted TC with a turbo rock or something like that. They take all the materials because they think it's funny. They slap down another TC. They fill my materials into the TC, and they lock the base, and they leave it untouched. And this happened to me, like, I don't know, 15 times or something like that. You want to tell me Russ isn't infested with the worst piece of shit hackers on the fucking worthless-ass internet? I swear to God, piece of shit worthless-ass hackers on the internet. Like, you know, they're like worthless. Like, that's the sort of stupid ass shit they do. Try to mindfuck you or whatever. But all it really is just wasting their time. It's wasting everybody's time. It's so stupid. It means nothing. It's an idiot full of, you know, full of like mischief signifying nothing. You know, it's stupid. Waste of energy and time as usual. So, okay, we're in on Rust. I want to watch Sog talk about. Oh, I gotta be in fleet here. AO HF Team Finder. Yeah, I want to join that. Yeah. And HO Absolutor. That person was not me. Keyword. That person was not me. Looking for myself. Oops. To form fleet with. So, it's all fun and games till you realize that that a shitty billionaire conglomerate tried to assassinate my career in its infancy. That's exactly what I was saying, court. And I know it sounds hyperbolic, but it's not, though. That is exactly what they actually did. I tried to show a public domain movie because I was trying to show that I could do a public domain movie without violating any laws, and they full-blown violated my fucking civil rights. They pretty much they assassinated my career and tried to violate my civil rights over showing a public domain movie. And I realize now that I'm like a little bit dramatic over it, and I won't think about this tomorrow. I guarantee it. I won't think about this again for a couple of years. It's just gonna be another blip on my fucking radar like tomorrow. I won't even remember it, right? But I mean, while I'm on the subject, I want to put it on record that you did really violate my fucking rights here, and technically you should lose your corporate empire over it. And I'm just one person. I can't imagine what you're doing to other people. I can't even imagine what YouTube is doing to other people. If you're throwing my career away over a public domain movie, and that seems like the most like white, kind of, you know, like lightest offense that it could possibly be on YouTube is showing a public domain movie and mistakenly getting banned. That's about probably the lightest thing you can do on YouTube, and I still feel like suing you for everything you've got. I don't know what YouTube's up to. I think if we were to actually get the content creators to talk to each other, I begin to feel that YouTube might be one of the more evil entities on the planet now. But I don't really know. If they're just violating people's rights over just public domain, that's enough for them to lose their company. And I don't know what else they're doing. I mean, is this a really bad criminal like empire that we're spawning with free videos? I don't know, but I know that I don't really trust them anymore. Like I think their algorithm is there instead of people, you know, and that's not good. That's like you essentially put my career at risk over like. Now, did I lose the miasmos? No, I have to go to Nauvoo. Got to do some jumps here. Yeah, and so like, you know, it's not a big deal to you because you make billions of dollars and you deal with millions of people. I have some sympathy for this. I don't think you do this stuff on purpose, right? I think you're just too busy and you bit off more than you can chew and you want to be in the saddle and be the king or whatever, but also I'm not sure you know how to ride. And so, like, you know, and this treatment of me, you never should have made it possible for an algorithm to ban somebody for a week without even a human ever involved. That is, I believe, grounds for a huge, like tort lawsuit. You cannot treat people like that. You cannot just put people's careers at the fucking behest of or, you know, at the ransom of an algorithm. That makes you an incredibly dark actor. That makes you an incredibly bad actor if you're using the word of an algorithm to suss out a human being's career. You don't deserve that empire. And I believe I have now you've made a new enemy in me. I slept on this for a week. I pondered on it today while I was walking for 2.5 fucking hours. I was like, did I make a mortal enemy in YouTube this week? And I think I kind of may have, because if you're using algorithms to suss out people's careers, I believe you're about as evil as Hamas or something like that. I think that's about as evil as Hamas. If you're using a goddamn computer to suss out whether or not a person can have a job or not, I believe that is actually about as 1984 as we've ever got in this entire world. That is as 1984 as we've ever been. Your fucking computer is sussing out whether people keep their jobs or not. And now that's okay if there's somebody overlooking the computer. I would be okay for that for governmental process and stuff like that. But you're not overlooking the algorithm. Maybe you do the ban appeal, but when I did the ban appeal and failed it, you should have lost your company because that movie is in the public domain. And I think what you hit me for was spams and deceptive practices or something like that. I forget what it actually was. But I mean, like, that shit is not, I am not guilty of that. I am not guilty of that. You cannot throw my career away and cripple my growth in a very crucial nursery stage in a streamer's career. You cannot cripple my growth over that. That is fairly evil enough where I believe you should lose your empire now. If that's what you're doing to my fellow peers, I don't believe you should have that empire. I believe that YouTube should be run by the public then. I believe it should be a Wikipedia type thing where there is no corporate fucking overseer malfeasance where you're throwing my career away with an algorithm and then denying the appeal with a bored human who didn't take the time to even look and see whether the movie was in public domain or not. And so not only do I want to take your empire over banning me for a public domain movie, but I also want to sue you for the appeal rejection. You know, and now I understand why my peers are so angry with YouTube. I was happy with them for, 21 years or something. But if you're gonna fucking like chop off a content creator's like figurative head over like their religious leanings or their public speaking or something like that, I think you're about as bad as Trump. You know, you're a fascist. You're just ending careers on a whim with an algorithm and denying appeals with lazy people who don't care to actually look at the goddamn case. And yeah, I think I want to be that magical like lawsuit that slides through. It takes $1 billion from you because you can't do to me what you did. I have a very clear and concise case that would slaughter you in court. If I were to take a jury to this, I could take YouTube for their fucking empire. But I don't have a lawyer. I don't have money because the YouTube empire piece of shit deep state people ruined the world. So here we are. You try to kill my career. 3 years into a beautiful career. I'm doing great. 3 years in, I'm chugging along, and you try to ban me for a week on a public domain movie? Fuck you. I'll ban you for the whole rest of eternity. I mean, you want to fucking end my career? I'll end yours. It's only fair. It's only fair. That's what you try to do to me. You try to end my career. Why shouldn't I try to end YouTube's career? You know? And so I'm just going to publish this and let somebody else do it. I'm not going to fight my own fucking battles. I hope some lawyer, like Legal in this fucking world, finally gets a clue about the actual criminals and sues them for everything they've got. The lawyers are hitting the poor people. Fuck you guys. Sue the fucking rich people, you fucking idiots. Sue YouTube for violation of my civil rights. I mean, you cannot end my career over you cannot end my career over a perceived violation of a public domain movie. You cannot do that. That is against the law. You should have lost YouTube over that. And I will make a big deal over it, like every streamer makes a big deal over it every time YouTube tramples on their rights and violates their civil liberties and shit. Jesus fucking Christ, now I'm sympathetic to the lady who shut up your office. I begin to understand what she was going through. I'm sympathetic to her now. A fucking mass shooter. And I'm sympathetic to her. When does a woman ever mass shoot anything? When does a woman ever mass shoot something? And she chooses the YouTube offices? How evil are you? Are you up there with the deep state kind of controlling the world? How evil are you, YouTube? If you're going to end my career over a public domain movie, how fucking evil actually are you? Should we be looking into your taxes and your criminality? Are your executives sleeping with underage children? How evil are you, YouTube? You're kind of looking like them. You're kind of acting like them. How evil are you? Should I be doing some inquests and looking at your taxes maybe? Are you cheating on taxes like Trump? How evil are you, YouTube? If you're willing to throw my YouTube career away over a fucking public domain movie, I gotta wonder what kind of actual evil you're up to. This one's just you being lazy. I can't imagine what you're doing when it comes to things that you're not lazy about. Jesus Christ, man. I want to pass the bar so I can fucking sue these assholes. Tell me I couldn't win the court case. I'll go up in there goddamn to testify for myself. And be like, here's what YouTube did to me. Here's the public domain movie. I'm going to show it to you in this court case because I legally can. There's no royalties. If I can show this movie to you, I can show it to my fucking YouTube channel. Take YouTube's money, give it to me. I'll make a better YouTube that doesn't violate people's fucking rights, you know? I'll make a better YouTube. Fuck this world. Fuck the government. Fuck the piece of shit baby boomer fucking rip-off fucking attack artists, goddamn fucking thieves that stole all the money in the fucking world and all of their fucking crippling fascist platforms that enable them to do so. Fuck them. And that's my YouTube spiel. I'm done now. Jesus Christ, you try to assassinate my fucking career over a public domain movie? I have a right to sue you, and you're lucky I don't have the money to. I want to pass the bar. I don't care if I'm poor. I'll come after you. Swiggity swooty, YouTube. I'm coming in for that. Swiggity swooty, YouTube booty. Swiggity swooty, I'm coming for your YouTube booty. You know what I'm saying? YouTubey. Because, yeah, you can't be ending my fucking career over a public domain movie. That is a full-blown federal crime. And I would take your goddamn company over it. Take your fucking fortune over it. And sooner or later, you're not going to be able to dodge these bullets like Neo anymore. Sooner or later, one of us is going to stick you for the actual evil you were up to. And thanks, YouTube. Now I'm sympathetic to a mass shooter. The only female mass shooter I've ever heard of shot up the YouTube offices. And you got to kind of wonder how really evil YouTube might be if a woman's trying to shoot up their office, you know? A Muslim woman. A Muslim woman shot up their fucking offices because they fucking killed her career. I kind of feel the same now. I'm sympathetic to her. Jesus Christ, you are evil as hell. I'm ashamed to be on your goddamn platform. I'm gonna use you for every fucking like hit and follow that I can get to try to preserve my career before your platform inevitably corruptedly dies. But until then, I'm gonna use you for everything that you've got. I'm gonna try and put 1,000 gigs worth of videos on your platform, and I try to make you rich and famous, just like you're gonna try and make me rich and famous. So we've got an unspoken thing here that I'm not gonna violate, and I'm not gonna sue you. But if you ever treat me like this again, if you ever violate my rights, I will go get a lawyer, and I will come after you, and I will scream so loud, every fucker on the internet will hear it. If you ever violate my rights like this again, I am not fucking around with you. I will scream so loud, every motherfucker on the planet will hear it. Don't you ever violate my fucking rights like this ever again.
Since it's been happening. And you might be like, whoa, Muda, what is new about this? Well, today we are talking about lawsuits, cease and desist.
So we're just going to watch some more Nick games. I'm sorry for the anger and the vitriol, but you can tell I'm really, really bad with righteous fucking anger, and I have the fire and the brimstone in my heart and my soul, and I will condemn these goddamn demons to fucking hell where they came from.
Well, that's when things get really, really freaky. And boy, do I know a fair bit about that from my own personal time on YouTube. But to give you an idea and context, basically the last time we looked at this Mr. Beast stuff, there was some serious allegations being made.
You're playing with people's careers. Only shitheads do that. You need to be this quiet entity in the background that just kind of, you know, enables us to do all this. You should not be, like, backing or unbacking. You should not be shadow banning. You should not be fucking, like playing with my career over public domain or anything like that. I want some inquests and some congressional insight on YouTube now. I really do. I want some congressional insight on YouTube. I believe that might be a really corrupt corporation that should be dismantled, maybe, and given back to the public. You know, something that Americans never ever understand. I only ever learned it in college is the public owns the airwaves. We own the cable. We own the television. We own public television. We own it. Like, the public owns it. It is our property. It is not CNN. It is not the Koch brothers. It is not, you know, Rupert Murdoch or anything like that. We own goddamn YouTube, technically. We own the internet. The public owns the internet. It's kind of insane. It is actually true. We own the airwaves. It's insane. You are not allowed to treat us like this. We own the domain that you use. You cannot violate our rights like this. We will take your empire from you. You cannot treat us like this. The only reason you treat us like this is we don't sue you. I know your fucking game. Sooner or later, I will scrabble and bite and claw and push every last cent out of you until I can get enough money to bring you to justice, you fucking criminal, fucking rights abusers and criminal right. You're a criminal. You're fucking criminals. You're worse than me. You're way worse than me. I don't have charges like you. Like Jesus fucking Christ. You have federal crimes and stuff. You have committed a federal crime against me, YouTube. And the only reason you don't lose your empire is I can't sue you. Sooner or later, that will change. I will use the power and the money, and I will sue you if you violate my rights like this again. Don't you ever treat me like this again.
One of the whistleblowers, Dogpack404...
I will sue you and I will win. All I have to do is go up into the fucking courtroom and show the goddamn jury the public domain piece of paper. And be like, nope, nope, nope. They killed my career. Now you have to pay me for my entire career. And on top of that, I'm going to sue you for $100 million in damages for every other fucking streamer that you fucked in the last 20 years. And I'm going to give them each $1 million. Like, Jesus fucking Christ, dude, you are a public entity that has gone completely full-blown Satan evil. What happened to you? I have loved you for 20 years. You are now a terrible organization, especially if you're going to trample my rights like this. It's a public domain movie. Fuck you. Fuck you. And that's a really, like, pretty much a really minor complaint. But I feel it's enough to take your career from you, just like you tried to do it to me. I feel it's enough for you to lose your empire, just what you did to me. And that's the worst part about it. I think about the pointlessness of suing you, because I think about the other million people that you probably harmed. And it's like, oh no, these piece of shit deep state richer 1%ers have infiltrated everything and everyone, and they're running every fucking game that's on the planet. And they've driven all of them into the ground, and they're walking on the backs of the poor, and they're violating people's rights. And it's like, Jesus Christ, when does this piece of shit fascism end? When does this end? It's on YouTube, it's in the governments, it's in the laws and the violation and the repeal of Roe v. Wade. When does the control over every aspect of our fucking life end? What happened to privacy or like respecting people's rights? Now it's just about the bottom dollar line. They don't care what happens or how much people get hurt. It's about their bottom dollar line. That's it.
You know, one of the largest YouTubers in the game. And the possibility...
I'm sorry, but you really want to go after Mr. Beast for lotteries targeting children? But all of YouTube targets children. That's like saying, I really want to hurt humans because they drink water, you know? It really is. It's like, that's the metaphor I'm going to use. Like going after Mr. Beast for targeting children on YouTube is like going after humans for drinking water. Are you that goddamn stupid? Are you that goddamn stupid? I think you are.
404 when it came.
YouTube is pretty much like Nickelodeon. I hate to say it, but it is. There's more kids watching this than adults. Adults work with their lives and do stuff. Kids have time, and the kids are what watch YouTube. They really are. So, like, understand this thing about illegal lotteries targeting children. If you are on YouTube, you are unfortunately targeting children. It doesn't matter. I mean, it doesn't matter what you're saying or doing. If you're on YouTube, you are targeting children just by rote, because most of the population on YouTube is children. Like, there is some adults, but it's probably like 60-40, you know? So targeting children? No, I wouldn't say so. I think he just had a huge child audience, whether he wanted it or not. I have some sympathy for that. I don't want a child audience. Like, for instance, on my Twitch, right in the fucking rules, it says, what is it? It's like content for my settings, for my moderation, right? I'm like, not for kids. You must be 18 to be in my channel. Adults only. Now, what was that sound? Oh, that's my wood decaying. It is decaying. Am I out of wood? Oh no, did you crumble? Oh, you did. Oops. Okay, so I have to go chop some wood. That's okay. Maybe we can save the rest of it. I don't think, oh yeah, maybe actually it's okay. I don't know. I think the twig crumbled, but not the wood. Yeah, the twig all just crumbled, but not the wood. Or maybe the wood, I don't know. Oh yeah, the wood did crumble down. Yep, so now that the wood's gone, I have a lot more to work with. You know, it wasn't hard to chop all that wood. Yep, and I'll just, you know, throw some honeycomb, you know, around it. I'm going to chop some trees now to stop any further decay, because I don't want the... well, no, that's it. There is no further decay. You know, that's fine. I love righteous anger. It's like a drug for me, and I love it when I actually have a legitimate complaint that's based in reality, that has truth to it, that isn't some fucking, like, you know, some construct, you know? And I really like righteous anger, and I've got to stay away from it, you know? I have the fire and brimstone in my heart, and I'm looking for righteous anger. And it's like a drug. I'll pound it and I'll scream like a crazy anger heroin addict or something. I'll just pound the anger and I'll scream about how you violated my fucking rights, you piece of shit corporational entity. You know? Shush, Brand. Shush. Oh, there's a swamp monument. Wow. Let's go put the wood in the TC. There's a... No, never mind. I'm good. Hey, there's more people today. That's good. Put some wood in the TC and then go chopping, and I will maybe go to the cave and chop for a while and get like a full inventory of ore. Probably gotta close that one. And I should put more wood in the TC last night, but that's alright. Lots of stone. That's good. The stone cost went down, and I would prefer a metal cost, I think, actually. Yeah, hey, cool. Let's open... No, that's bad. I gotta get you burning. Gotta get that burning. Oops, sorry. And then, okay, we have 4,000 metal, 2,000 of which I can use. Upkeep's at 1,200 right now. Can't really do high qual yet, but I'll reach it sooner or later. Gonna need some wood for construction. But it's good that the wood cost is reduced. It was at 15k. I would have preferred if it would just, you know, end. I wish I could... I think I will expand here, and I will do special viewports. No. I do need to actually do the honeycomb, so, but we won't do so now. I don't have the metal. I really should do the honeycomb on just the base and then work on the honeycomb for the hallway second. But I mean, I don't have enough metal. I need like double this metal, so we'll just pay the upkeep for now and go to work like farming and stuff until I have to go. Not have to, but until I go to 7 days. Okay, moderation, right? Not for kids. You must be 18 to be in my channel. Adults only. Depictions of strong themes of bloody dismemberment, bloody violence, alcohol, marijuana, occasional horror games, subversive chat, a lot of profanity, no sexual content beyond incidental conversation. Be forewarned, I will not speak with you even if you sub. 3 minutes of every hour you will see ads. Must be phone and email verified. You must follow Twitch terms of service or I ban permanently. Save changes. What? Must be 18 to be my channel. Depictions of strong themes of bloody dismemberment, bloody violence. There we go. Save. There you go. Adults only, right? And that's what I think. I don't want kids in my channel, but I think all of these other creators do. I think all of them, like, I think most of their fucking audience is children. It's insane. And so, I mean, to say that the Mr. Beast was targeting lotteries at children is insane. That's like saying you're targeting people for drinking water. You know, everybody watches Mr. Beast. That's ridiculous, including the kids. It's to say that he was targeting people. That's silly. Now, for him to see a business opportunity and take advantage of it is his business. It's his stream. He can do that if he wants to. If he sees the kids are buying the products, he can market to them. There's no law against that. McDonald's marketed goddamn McDonald's to kids for 50 years, and it took them a long time to stop that, you know. But they stopped it, you know. So, you know, I don't understand how Mr. Beast is worse than McDonald's. He's not. He did not turn an entire generation of kids into fat kids, you know. He's not evil.
To, you know, one of the largest YouTubers in the game, and the possibility of illegal lotteries And the terrible onset allegations of like conditions with the Amazon Prime show that they're doing, the Beast games, where, you know, apparently people aren't being fed, taken care of, or really anything is right. The implications that the game shows that are being hosted, the competitions, could potentially be rigged, which brings actual legal case law into the mix as well when we start to see how this stuff is treated in the grand scheme of things, right? When the law is brought in. Now, before anybody goes like, oh, this is just drama for drama's sake, you know, I want to just kind of reiterate, when things like illegality are brought on board, when, you know, people's, you know, safety is questioned, that's not drama. That's criminality we're discussing.
Criminality.
That is possibly illegal behavior.
Yeah, like, this is not drama when I yell at YouTube for violating me on a public domain. That is actually a full-blown federal crime for what they did to me. And I could take their company if it wasn't a fucking corrupt world run by piece of shit richer baby boomers like Trump. You know? That they're protected by lawyers and can fuck poor people all the time. I don't know why it's like that. It just is. So, like, yeah, so they ride their protection through their class war, so they can just throw people's careers away with algorithms and shit like that. It's not fair, you know. I guess I'll hunt him. It is good food. What's that? Oh, he killed a boar. Nice.
And that's something that I am very much interested to see how the response comes from. Now, since then, Mr. Beast really hasn't responded. Who knows? He might just respond literally an hour after this video is posted. But to give you a quick idea and context, Dogpack404 basically shot out this little notion right here. A cease and desist final warning. Emoji, I would assume, was definitely not included by the lawyer. So here he basically shares, hey, dear Mr. Dogpack404, this firm has recently been retained by Mr. Beast YouTube LLC and its founder Jimmy Donaldson. Stop! You
fucked me. You fucked me.
Campaign to disparage Mr. Beast as a company and defame Jimmy Donaldson as an individual. Not only are your statements about Mr. Beast and Jimmy Donaldson untrue, they also violate the clear, binding, enforceable terms of your confidentiality and non-disclosure agreements with Mr. Beast dated March 25th, 2024, which you have shown in videos posted on the internet. Now, this was one actual thing that I saw. The other thing that I saw posted was from Internet Anarchist, who basically shared this cease and desist letter. Immediate action required. Dear Mr. Blank, McGuire Woods LLP represents your former employer, Mr. Beast YouTube LLC. I am writing to you regarding your recent troubling conduct following your involuntary termination. So, yeah, according to one of the journalists that I've talked to, Stephen Asarch, he basically said that McGuire Woods is actually the law firm that Mr. Beast is using for the third-party investigation of Eva Tyson. So it's kind of a weird mix-up of a clash of worlds you're seeing. Now, one thing that I've sort of seen floating around is the concept of the NDA. Is violating the NDA legally wrong, Mutahar? Well, it depends, right? Like, if you're violating, let's say, for example, I hired you at our company, right? And I told you a secret about, you know, something we're doing a month from now, a production that we have coming out in the next 2-3 months. And you decide to leak that onto the internet. So, for example, I went out and filmed something with Caleb, Tom, Brandon Buckingham, Wendigoon, and it was we filmed like 4 or 5 big videos. Now, the thing about it is, in that company, in the production for those videos, if we hire you to be the editor for that video, and we had told you, hey, don't leak any of this at all, not a single ounce of footage. We want this for you to edit, we want you to put these videos together, and we want you to, basically have these ready to go up on our actual collaborative channel. If you decided to leak that footage, it would be well within our right to take you to court. Obviously, you're leaking stuff that would be considered our secrets. It would be considered our intellectual property, things like that. Now, if on that footage you saw that me and all the guys fucking filmed a snuff movie and actually murdered somebody on camera, something that extreme, what you have witnessed is a crime. And no matter what NDA we make you sign, you cannot fear for bringing that to the police or the public, because NDAs if you very quickly look them up, do not actually protect you. If they're do not actually protect the people who are issuing the NDA if there is a crime being committed, right? Like if there are actual criminal activities happening, the NDA doesn't prevent you from disclosing that to the public, or more specifically, law enforcement, okay? That's just how these things tend to work. Now, something about cease and desist that always weirded me out is my own personal experience with them was probably a little bit around the time during the Save the Kid stuff that I did with CoffeeZilla. Now, during this time, one of the people in the videos, I believe it was like maybe Phase K, if I'm not mistaken, or one of the, it was Phase K, the one that was like basically one of the faces on the Save the Kids advertising, had sent out a cease and desist through some ambulance-chasing lawyer to CoffeeZilla. And basically, in that cease and desist, you know, any other co-investigator, yours truly, would basically be brought into the fold if we didn't just shut up. Now, the thing about cease and desist is, obviously, if you're somebody new to this game, you'll probably be like, wow, I'm being told that I could be going to court. And the thing about a cease and desist is it's basically a legal way of telling you to stop doing some alleged wrongdoing, right? And so when I brought this up to my lawyer and also brought it up to other creators like Ethan Klein from H3H3, basically I was just like told from really everyone that, hey, as long as you know what you're doing is right and you have the case to prove it, then you really shouldn't be taking it up the ass by an ambulance-chasing lawyer. And it really seems like Dogpack doesn't give a shit. Now, allegedly, Dogpack also mentioned that apparently his number ended up getting leaked. Dude, has anyone at Beast contacted you about the posts you're making? I've been reading the NDA over to see what I can and can't post because I'd like to move on with my life and try having some type of social media presence. Also, if you're going to post my message for proof you worked at Beast, I don't care, just don't show my number. You can save it how you want. Also, I got your number from Kaylee. I don't have access to anything Beast like Slack or anything. Obviously, I'm not an employee. I'm a former employee. Someone else I know told me they texted you on Reddit talking about Kaylee or Leroy. I'm not that person. And I won't mention any current or former employees because of the NDA. So then, allegedly, Dogpack gets this fucking message that said, hey, I'm texting you anonymously to let you know that I heard James wants to have a private investigator start following you and looking into every detail of your life. He wants him to reach out to your former employers, find all of your social media accounts, your family's social media accounts, videos of you, anything. They already have a Google Doc listing possible ways to discredit you, including you're on drugs and have mental health problems. Your mom is bipolar. You were an obsessed superfan. You were crying begging for your job back after they fired you. You tried to steal company funds. So yeah, this is insane shit. So obviously somebody who got this cease and desist, apparently they don't give a shit. They're just leaking out everything possible right here. So when Dogpack is faced with a cease and desist, he decides, yeah, I'm just going to go full balls to the wall, involve Hitler, Jeffrey Epstein, and even pretty much mentioned the idea of like the Team C's like actual charity, which a lot of YouTubers, myself included, you know, basically cameoed and also like participated and gave our likeness to Mr. Beast, and accuses it of not basically being as altruistic as it seems. So according to Dogpack, what he basically said that he was going to originally expose the philanthropy efforts and basically being more about aiding private interests and boosting the image than actually doing anything good. But in that investigation, he came across something far more interesting that no one has ever found. And apparently his part 2 will be far more damaging. This is literally one kid versus one of the largest enterprises on YouTube. Truly, it is like legitimately a David and Goliath story, right? Like just size-wise. But again, I like to be fair and balanced whenever I look at stuff like this, and obviously this is just one person's story. Obviously, Mr. Beast has a side as well, too, in that whole company. So it really is worth seeing, and I'm really, really hoping to see what their actual side is, because at this point, an actual statement from the...
Is that my Discord? Or his Discord? No, that's not mine.
Mr. Beast guys could either completely bury this fucking guy, or it could absolutely bury their company. There is no in-between anymore. It is extreme ends of the spectrum. Now I'm going to take this whole mention with a little bit of like charity here. I think it's more intended to be yes, obviously you're removing trash from an ocean, but it is also a way to show that, yes, we can all collaborate even more down the road to do even more impactful things. I don't think I want to be as cynical as possible just off of this thread. So what he says is, why did Team C's never mention corporate pollution or push for a ban on unnecessary single-use plastics, and instead push the narrative that this problem is solvable by people and cleanup efforts? Could it be that 50% of the money went to a Peter Thiel startup, funded startup whose largest sponsor is Coca-Cola? And of course, one of the things is, he mentions an actual post by renewableMatter.eu where they say 56 companies are responsible for 50% of the world's plastic population, of which the top 5 are the Coca-Cola company, 11%. So yeah, not exactly the best look possible. So then he talks about why plastic pollution is bad, and how depending on the size of certain microplastics, they can phase through gastrointestinal tracts, cellular membranes, and even blood-brain barriers, phasing like Danny Phantom, all while potentially carrying thousands of different chemicals that are attacking your body. And obviously I'm going to stop right here because I'm not a doctor. I don't understand the implications of microplastics on the human body. But yeah, honestly, it's a fair criticism to be bringing up, right? Like, hey, if you're going to make an environmentally positive video, maybe it's better to focus the efforts against the actual problems, right? It's like when people complain about, oh, this guy's driving like a gas-guzzling SUV, but they conveniently will ignore the fact that some fucking environmental, tree hugger celebrity will constantly private jet around the world, and then in their one private jet flight, which they do several a year, obviously, that one private jet flight probably does more harm to the environment and the ozone layers than that person's fucking 10 years of driving, right? It's insanity. So yeah, it is absolutely worth looking into regulations, looking into talks. But this isn't a video about teaching you about environmental causes and what.
God, I love Peter Hardy's so smart.
I'm not an expert at it. I definitely do care about the environment, but at this moment in time, I definitely am not prepped enough to discuss this topic. But going back to the cease and desists, right? Obviously, Dogpack doesn't give a fuck. And in fact, he's been on several interviews. One of them being on my brother's channel, Oompaville, where he talks about this whole situation and some of the allegations that he made. One of them did strike out to me. In fact, 2 of them. One of them about the raccoon, and the other one about this private island that apparently Mr. Beast spent $1 on when it was actually 23. Listen closely.
They say, oh, it was never a secret, but it's like, well, when you're being criticized for using CGI, why are you not openly acknowledging it? Again, not a big claim in my video.
What about the raccoon?
Raccoon was... Dude, the raccoon, in reality, it's much worse than being
shit.
A paid actor.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a domestic raccoon that they brought to the set, and they're sort of treating it like a prop. They're putting it in the ceiling and then pretending they just discovered it.
Yeah, exactly.
But then there's a scene where somebody off camera takes the raccoon and throws it onto the bed, and I'm sure you can pull this clip up. The edit is very strange because there's a zoom in and pan up, so it hides the fact that the raccoon is going on the bed. But what it's really doing is hiding the fact that someone's throwing the raccoon. And then there's a voiceover in post of Jimmy saying, oh man, the raccoon just ran in the hotel or whatever. And they're screaming at it and shit. So it's almost, I wouldn't say animal abuse, but it's kind of borderline mistreatment when you're just using it as a prop and then scaring it for no reason.
So actually, yeah, that's a pretty sketchy point as well, too. So one of the obvious claims that Dogpack had made in his previous video was the raccoon was apparently CGI. When they talk about a paid actor, it means obviously it's a trained animal. Nobody's gonna fucking sit there with a wild raccoon, okay? That's fucking crazy, god damn it. But yeah, if you're kind of unintentionally scaring the animal, I'm sure depending on how close people are to animals or what your, what your barometer for abuse or mistreatment is, some would consider that to be pretty wrong. And I really don't think anybody should be putting any animal in a bad situation. I don't know what the point of the raccoon was in that video, but yeah, it certainly didn't even really need to be there to begin with. But yeah, the other big thing that they were talking about was the island that was purchased for $1, right? So I'm going to play this clip and just walk you through that.
The island costs more than $1. What about that? What do you think about that? What do you think about that response?
If you literally Google what he tells you to Google, it used to say that it was $1 for the transfer fee, but $27 plus taxes and everything. Also, the tax property records show that the island is valued at $800, and then they leased it back to the owner for $0, which is dude, who gives a shit that the island didn't cost $1? It's just insane that they go to such extremes to never admit that they've ever faked anything. That Chucky released his statement at 4 a.m., which is like, I think that's very intentional to when I'm sleeping.
So that's actually a really, really good point, okay? Obviously, I don't give a shit if they bought the island for $1 or $100, okay? I've been around this game enough to know that, yes, there is clickbait, and obviously everything that's stated is not as true as it seems. But when your brand is kind of built on, I'm not faking this is as true, as honest as possible, why go through the extent of even responding to that, right? Or like even trying to obfuscate the fact that, yeah, you paid the price of, you know, like $28. You paid almost $30 for an island when you added in all the fucking fees. Did you really have to make it seem like you spent just $1? It's this thing with like YouTube communities that when you come across situations like this, it's best to be as honest and transparent with your audience as possible. The more these kind of little nuggets build up against you, the harder it is to have integrity and the harder it is to have that relationship with your audience, which is something that, at least for some of these large channels, especially personality-driven channels, you need to be able to make sure that you are as transparent as you can be with the audience. Dude, if I told you guys that I bought a fucking island for $1 or $28, I don't think I would have to joke around and say, yeah, I bought the island. I would just say that I bought the island for like $28. Then I would never need to be criticized by somebody like this. And it's still impressive to be buying an island for $28, okay? I'm like drooling at the property price right there, because it's impressive. But like I said in my last video, I think the responses that they picked out, like the raccoon and the island fees, these are so minuscule. When in his same video, Dogpack's video, he talked about illegal lotteries. He talked about actual like fraudulent stuff right there. That is what you should have responded to. If you're not willing to respond to that and instead, you know, send out these alleged cease and desists, that is one of the most terrible looks anybody can have on the situation right now. So going to the actual messages. Now, last time I looked at, you know, these leaked 500,000 something Discord messages that apparently posted Mr. Beast, David Tyson in the worst possible light, you know, ever, right? So you had somebody like Ava Tyson, who was apparently allegedly part of this, you know, insanely, you know, very much NSFW server based on the logs that I had read, especially when there was like adults and minors mixed in. And there was obviously people who were looking through Discord user IDs and were linking Mr. Beast over to that actual Discord server where there was some really unsavory things being shared around. Now, since then, that entire set of leaks, which existed on GitHub, has since been taken down. So if you go to that chriscott.github.io, yeah, it's error 404. It doesn't exist anymore. And the thing about it is at the time, you know, the person who was running that account, Nathan here, was basically saying that they assumed that it was a cease and desist. But in reality, it doesn't actually seem like it was even a cease and desist in general. What it really seemed like was that they actually violated Discord's terms of services by, you know, not using their, you know, service in a proper way. So when they were talking about GitHub's acceptable use policies, one of the things that came up to me was user safety. So we do not allow content or activity on GitHub that is sexually obscene or relates to sexual exploitation or abuse involving that of minors, for instance. So I assume that GitHub, which is really just a Git versioning...
Well, I robbed somebody for 500 scrap. I don't usually get PvP on this server, but I definitely did here. And, yeah, I robbed somebody for quite a lot of scrap. I feel bad. But he also wasn't out there very long, I don't think, so... And I got, and a revolver and a full stack of bullets, which is... I mean, that's rust. But I reached out to him, but he didn't respond. So normally I would just leave his loot, you know? But I mean, I don't know. I don't know if he lives really far away and was just planning on letting that loot despawn, then it's better that I take it, right? But I mean, like, I don't want to rob him. 650 scrap is a T2 that I didn't have before, so if he doesn't say anything, then that's rust, you know? That's rust. Maybe I'll catch a raid over this. If so, I'll move. I don't care. I wish I hadn't robbed him. I kind of wish I hadn't robbed him, but that's okay. It's all right. I mean, I'm too nice of a person. You can see it. I'm too nice of a guy. It's fucking Rust. Those are the names. That's the name of the game. I was more prepared than him to win, and yeah. Ooh, he had suppressor. That's a big deal for me, actually. Yeah, suppressor. That's good. Suppressor's good. I am using that. Sorry. Yeah, we're gonna go dual suppressed pistols from now on. 54 rounds is a lot. I feel bad. I kind of screwed him. I have this problem. I want to see their names, so I KOS. I KOS because I want to see their names, you know? He might have been out hunting me. I don't know. That might be the stalker. I don't know shit about this situation. That's the worst part about it. Abuse is just terribly bad for everybody involved. It twists and warps the obsessed person into a piece of shit. It twists and warps the victim into a piece of shit. It makes the entire situation untenable. It harms outside people. It causes both of them to act differently and all this stuff. And abuse is just unacceptable. The ramifications are unacceptable, really, of like abuse. It just makes the whole situation really shitty for everyone involved. You know? Yeah, I'll run scope, flashlight, crossy, because it's good opening damage. Like, that fucked him up when I hit him. That was a good PvP kill. I liked it. It felt good. Felt good to play Rust like Rust for once, you know, instead of being a PvE Care Bear on a 5-pop, you know. It's good to get a kill. I felt bad to take his 600 scrap, and I offered it to him back. He didn't take it, which means that I'm probably going to get raided. But I mean, that's all right. I mean, he knows where I live. He can raid me. I mean, it's, you know, whatever. I should technically improve the outside of this base now, because I have the materials to do so. I mean, I really should. I think I probably am going to go do that. Yep. And I'm going to leave his stuff here. Out, 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 out. Ow. Okay, so we're gonna put... There's my loadout. 2 revolvers, a crossy, and an Naoka should cover almost all the situations. I'm gonna go out there, and that's kind of a dumb decision, because if he's out there door camping me, and I made an enemy, he could get a lot more loot back from me than I took from him. So, you know, it's kind of bad timing for me to go do this, but... I mean, I doubt he's out there door camping me. He could be. He could be watching the stream and door camping me. It is possible. I mean, it would only be right if he killed me and took more than I took from him, so whatever. I mean, that's what happens when you play robbery games, is you kind of get in over your head and you rob the wrong person because you don't see who they are before you knock them down, and then it just goes from there, and you get into some tiff, and then a raid. That's how that's how Rust is. Honestly, I don't want the enemy, and that's why I offered him the loot back. Maybe he logged. I mean, I'm sorry. There is some PvP on this server. I've been killed here hundreds and hundreds of times. I mean, it is a real Rust server. It is not a PvE server. I feel bad. So what do we do here? We make 6. Yeah, 6. Yeah, is it 6? Yeah, it is. It's 6. I wish I had strengthened glass window by now, but I don't. Yeah, I'll make 6 metal shop fronts. That was most of my metal. Fucking sucks. Yeah, we'll do the copses first, and then I'll go farming for stone, and I'll do all of the pancake and honeycomb and stone, and that'll take me some time. Let me think about what I need here. I need some stone for what I'm doing right now, but I don't. Well, let me think about that. I don't need. Yeah, I need stone for the wall frames, but not the actual floor and ceiling. That'll be something else. I'm gonna need a little bit more wood than that, probably. Yep, and I'm making 6 shop fronts. I hope he didn't log, and I hope I didn't scare somebody away. You know? No, well, think about this. Yeah, I don't think this needs to be stone. Or, sorry, metal. I don't think so. Oh, damn it. Fucking stupid ass fucking windows. Stop fucking with me. Fucking piece of shit, incompetent ass conglomerate. Let's go. Nice, and then mustn't forget that. So first we do half wall. Why? Half wall. That'll be stone, I guess. Yeah. That's kind of dumb. They like come into my base right now. It's like so ghetto, kind of. Or no, I want the jump up, so that was kind of actually a problem. But I do need to fix this stuff, and that sucks. Okay, safer now. Little safer now. Stone,
yeah. You know, site to begin with, meant for code and like open source projects, right? It's not meant for distributing these Discord leaks to begin with. You probably would have had a better option just sharing that around on Mega Upload to begin with, and just letting people download and browse it on their own volition. So when talking about prohibited uses on GitHub Pages too, GitHub Pages is not intended for, or to be allowed to be used as a free web hosting service to run your online business, e-commerce website, or other website that is primarily directed at either facilitating commercial transaction or providing commercial software as a service. GitHub pages should also not be used for sensitive transactions, like sending passwords or credit card transactions. In addition, they're also subject to terms of services, including the restrictions on get-rich-quick schemes, sexually obscene content, and violent or threatening content or activity. And yes, that content was relatively obscene. Now, that being said, ladies and gentlemen, obviously I don't think that there was like a cease and desist. I think it was probably the worst site to throw it up on. And one of the reasons that I wanted to bring this up is obviously to be fair and balanced into it. If there are actual alleged cease and desists going out, you probably should be focused on where they're alleged to be going out and not where like speculation is like pretty much cut and dry. So in this situation, I don't really think it's GitHub or, you know, them getting served with an legal notice or there being some form of like, you know, things being hidden, you know, at least from those Discord logs. At this point, those logs probably exist on numerous storefronts right now. So, you know, you're probably looking at like Mega, for instance. I'm sure you can find them on Twitter. I'm sure the entirety of them have already been picked through on like Kiwi Farms or something. So you're probably going to be just fine finding those logs, even if they've been removed from GitHub. Now, obviously, one of the things that I feel like people really have wanted to touch upon is the allegations that there have been some pretty serious, you know, on-set malfeasance for this Amazon Prime show that Mr. Beast is filming. Now, one of the things that I found on my Reddit that kind of blew up a little bit was Beast Games 2024 contestant alleges a $5 million prize winner was predetermined by the producers, and that is an incredibly serious allegation, one that I really wanted to get down to, because an allegation like that, remember in the last video when we looked at the Survivor, you know, lawsuit and the case law surrounding it, obviously the government, obviously when it comes to running a game show or a competition, there shouldn't be any rigging, there shouldn't be any predetermination, especially when you've got over 1,000 people who are willing to participate and put their time, their consideration, and put their lives on hold just to win a prize they believe is distributed in an objectively fair manner, or far fairer than what is being alleged here. So there was a video that was uploaded, and since then that video is actually privated by the actual account user, so I assume that whatever they said was scathing enough that they probably either removed it of their own volition because, hey, if they make a claim and, you know, all of a sudden they think, shit, I'm going to get sued for defaming this project that is run by one of the largest YouTube channels and also fucking Amazon, of all big companies, maybe I should shut up. So there's a few quotes that exist from online, like, sites like Sportskeeda, where they had basically talked about, you know, they were being taken advantage of. Scott Leopold, or Leopold, wow, I can't read today. So they actually said, once I heard that, I really felt like I was being taken advantage of. They brought me here, they didn't tell me that up front because I probably wouldn't have done it if there wasn't going to be a chance for me to win the $5 million. And that's when they heard that the winner was apparently predetermined. So what they had basically also said was, I had heard from the other contestants that the first part of the series would not be on Amazon Prime. That was the part that I was just in. That would not be on Amazon Prime, and that would just be a YouTube video. And then he alleged that most of the participants were actors. They needed background people, which explains why most of the people, including myself, are actors. We got this opportunity presented to us either through agents or casting networks. It feels like they just wanted to get cheap background people to come and participate. So these are some pretty serious allegations. And again, when I talk about, you know, fraud, when I talk about, you know, fairness in these game shows, to give a quick understanding of where I'm coming from, right? One of the key takeaways from the United States Bureau of Labor Statistics is that an average American salary in 2024 is $59,228, right? So for the average American, if that's, you know, the annual salary that they're trying to get to be in that average bracket, for people who take time out of their day, sometimes it could be weeks, it could be months, they are taking a serious hit to their possible earning potential. So when you bring up a game show or a competition to people, it is with the expectation that it's done fairly, so that everybody participating in it knows that, you know, they're putting their time, consideration, and abilities on the line to win a certain amount of money. If you found out that you were participating in a game show and the winner was already decided, why would you waste your time, your earning potential, to participate in something that you're not even being adequately compensated for? You know, the other thing is, even when you look at big, like, big organizations like the NBA, for instance, right? Or You know, you look at these big sporting groups where serious money is on the line. You've got actual sports bettors who are betting on which team will win and running these giant gambling pools.
High velocity.
You know, if we found out tomorrow that every single fucking game in the NBA was predetermined, right?
I wish it was Pistol.
Their
Pistol would
viewership
have been
would
better.
drop like a rock, because who's going to watch a game that you know is already predetermined? What kind of an athlete would unironically perform in a circuit that they know they wouldn't really have a chance to win it? Because for some of these people, it's not the money that they're going for too. It's also the ability to be a legendary icon in their sport of choice right down the road, which can parlay into even more lucrative opportunities for them. So yeah, these are things that obviously are brought up. Now, even when it comes to this Amazon show, what's insane about it too is, like, even big publications like the New York Times have jumped in and basically posted headlines that are probably some of the most scathing things that I've ever seen. Willing to die for Mr. Beast and $5 million. The contestants in the Internet Stars Beast games expected outlandish challenges and signed contracts that acknowledge serious risks of injury and death. Still, few were prepared for the conditions on set. One of the things that I do want to read is down in this one subsection, hungry, bruised, and bleeding. So what they wrote was Mr. Donaldson presided over the field as the first scenes of the competition were filmed in the stadium. Contestants described how he had stepped out of a shrine-like structure and onto the platform above $5 million in cash. It almost sounds like, you know, Squid Games in a way, right? Like crazy shit. So what they also said was, apparently, despite reassurances that contestants' medication would be distributed to them when needed, several contestants said they had not received their medication on time, including one contestant who needed insulin, instead receiving it hours or even days after their scheduled dosing times. One contestant said she had initially been denied the food she required to take her medication and had been told by staff members that she didn't actually need to eat. After asking repeatedly, she was given half a banana. Now, look, that is insane, if true, right? Like, obviously, this is, again, an allegation being made, but it is definitely scathing when it's the New York Times, like these mainstream organizations that typically, you know, have a lot of legal that tells them you can say this thing or you can't say this thing. Because, hey, here's the thing. If they're actually publishing a lie, like, they can be absolutely sued by the Mr. Beast company. And if this is a lie, I'm 100% on the side of Jimmy and him suing some of these mainstream companies if they're publishing an abject lie. But, you know, I've also got to spread, like, a little bit of an apology. Last video, I did cite an individual known as Rosanna Francina. And I remember even when she initially came out with her claims about this hide-and-seek competition not going in her favor, I did kind of blow her off. Like, I thought she was, you know, just, you know, crazy, stupid shit happening. But in reality, when you're looking at game show laws now and you're educated, she wasn't really in the wrong. You know, she is participating in something and she's putting up her time and consideration, and she's participating in this massive project, then yeah, it should ultimately be a fair thing and not a popularity contest that you should be going for. And especially if you're, you know, an average person participating in a game that, you know, involves Mr. Beast,
they wouldn't feed the contestants,
Amazon Prime Video, then these things ultimately have to be done in the most respectful, the safest manner possible. This isn't a YouTube production anymore. This is a serious professional production where it goes far beyond, you know, you
like
putting yourself into it.
Stuff,
it's literally involving people who, you know, are putting up their time, their consideration, their livelihoods. And if, you know, at the bottom level, if they're not even completely safe doing it, then you should never do a production like this to begin with. But yeah, it's wild stuff. There's cease and desists. The situation has evolved to a point where things are getting removed. And there's some actual serious questions to be asked about whether these productions that are now involving multi-billion-dollar companies, are they actually even safe? I think, honestly, throughout this whole situation, I'm looking at it more as of like, hey, a YouTube project that, again, if there is illegality, it needs to be addressed. And here's the thing. I really do hope that Mr. Beast, because I do have a lot of respect for his business sense and who he is as a person. Like, I think the kind of content that he makes, the pathways that he's taken to optimize is something that I think many YouTubers can really respect. I really feel like if there are problems in the Mr. Beast company, it should be addressed now and it should be fixed up before ultimately, when it comes to the mainstream, media, and it comes to, these big production companies, it will ultimately impact every YouTuber trying to do a large-scale production in the future, if the largest YouTuber is not doing it in the best manner possible. And if these are complete lies, then, my God, I can't wait to see the Jimmy Donaldson fucking legal ass fucking when it comes to a lot of these news organizations, even a lot of these organizations that didn't even say those Discord messages were alleged. Like, some of them just rolled off and basically said that was completely real. Even though I looked at people who were confirming them and adding validity, like former victims, even then, still should say things are alleged. But for people wondering why we go down that road, it's because, A, you don't want to knowingly disparage somebody, and B, you just don't want to get sued, right? But with cease and desist allegedly being handed out, it's not looking good. That's never a good look. But ladies and gentlemen, if you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. Dislike if you dislike it. Come out.
It was good.
Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Casual Criminalist. As always, I am Simon, your host today.
No.
Fallout London is one of the most ambitious mods I've ever played. And to
Thank you, Legacy Killer. I've liked the sub to
an
your
entire
channel.
new location of the franchise with a fresh take on the game's universe that still feels very Fallout. It proves, at least to me, that an outside the US Fallout game can be successful, although Bethesda has indicated that'll likely never happen, at least from them. A riveting, engaging story that begins with you in a mysterious lab and then fighting for your life on the overgrown, destroyed streets of London, trying to uncover the experimentation that brought you to be the Wayfarer. There's fun side content, immersive music with a great main theme, tons of choice and consequence which heavily plays into your build, a darker atmosphere that gives a sense of horror when traveling at night or entering into a poorly lit tunnel, NPCs with personality, a surprisingly professional voice acting cast, unique handcrafted
really
weapons,
good.
armor, enemies, factions, and locations, mission and level design that pushes you to figure out things on your own, an increased difficulty which makes encounters more strategic, tense, and engaging, and a massive, and I mean massive, open world with so much things to explore and do. It truly feels like a miracle that something like this even exists, but Fallout London is not perfect by any means. There are a decent amount of quests that feel too fetch questy, some areas that feel confusing with what you're supposed to do, lots of crashing, FPS and loading issues. Technical issues are the main problem right now, some of which I feel Bethesda deserves a lot of blame for it. The consequences of updating a years old game, completely breaking its modding scene and then just not fixing it. We're going to dive more into that later, so you better understand the frustration that many modders are feeling right now, but as it stands, and when it works properly, Fallout London is a triumph. And I truly believe another example of Bethesda needing to do better.
Agree.
It's always felt like Todd Howard and company
Bethesda's been
dislike
riding
the
on our fucking
comparisons
money for
fans
too
make
long.
between themselves and Obsidian. That feels like it will evolve now into comparisons to this mod. The work of the community that does feel, in certain regards, exceeding what Bethesda has ever done with this franchise. And this is coming from someone who just recorded a video looking fondly back at the foundation of Fallout 4. I was wrong with some of my overall criticisms with that game years ago, such as calling it Bethesda's biggest mistake. It's not. That aged poorly. The releases to follow have been far more divisive and controversial. There is a reason why there is skepticism now that this Bethesda team can deliver with the Elder Scrolls 6, a skepticism that also is felt with future BGS Fallouts. It should terrify Bethesda that the community crafted tons of high quality content and a massive explorable world for free, and meanwhile they're selling mediocre buggy quests for $7. Of course, Fallout 76 still does exist, and it's been having some success as of recent, but it still is a far cry from what many gamers and fans want from a Fallout game, something that it appears only modders can be trusted to deliver on in the near future, because Fallout London is the spin-off that many have dreamed of for years. As Metro did this interview recently, the creator of Fallout London did talk to British humor, and he also said they consider it Fallout 4.5. I actually consider it a little bit more than that. There's just so much here that they do, especially with the open world. I love the little sub-districts with their own politics and things going on within them, but there's also quality of life improvements to the franchise. Like, they revamped the dialogue system. It's similar to New Vegas and Fallout 3. They also revamped perks and skills as well. There's climbable ladders in a Bethesda game that almost, it feels like an achievement in of itself. Just some really
why can't piece of shit fucking triple anus developers handle elevators and goddamn ladders? Why can't they do it? They're just too lazy to make a good ladder. I've never understood it. And every elevator I've been on kills me. I've never understood the triple anus. Like if you're gonna make all that money, iron out your wrinkles, you fucking thieves. Iron out the wrinkles. Fucking thieves. Like if I'm coming up against it day one, that means that you had 7 years of quality assurance testing that you ignored. 7 years or something like that. If I'm coming up on that error day one, you full blown were too lazy to fix something that your Q&A has been telling you about for 5 years. And I see it all the time. They're like, oh, it's fine, it's a ladder. They'll get through it. They'll go around it. No, you should fix the ladder. And then once you fix the ladder, you always have a ladder that works. Huh. Instead, you used broken ladders in all the games for 30 years. Why is a ladder so difficult? I don't really understand why.
Things as they did here. Now again, all indication is that this is the only Fallout we're going to be getting for a long time. Todd Howard earlier this year said, I'm going to avoid putting dates on anything in regards to Fallout 5. It's the only confirmed new Fallout game we have at the moment. There's been some rumors and stuff going on about maybe some remasters, but those have just nothing ever came of it. So it could be that those projects never actually were.
Fallout 4 got remastered.
Now we also did see Todd Howard back in May saying that they would like to increase their output with the Elder Scrolls and Fallout because we don't want to wait that long either. The thing is, I've said this for years, they should have a studio dedicated just to Fallout and then a studio for the Elder Scrolls. I'm not sure why that hasn't been something that, you know, has been worked under Microsoft yet, but it feels like it's long overdue, especially after the success of the Fallout TV show. It feels like there would be more of an impetus to make sure that this is happening. Now, Todd Howard also said this in May, that there's nothing to talk about in regards to Fallout 5, but he said that Bethesda is in plans for future games, and a lot of people looking at
maybe they aren't making Fallout 5, but I think it's a lie. I think they've been working on Fallout 5. I think it's a lie. They lied about Fallout 4, and they've never not been consistent like with their marketing and stuff. They always do the same tricks again. So I think he's lying about Fallout 5, and he can do that if he wants. But I think maybe I'm in denial. But I think he is. I think he is making Fallout 5 because they surprised us. They surprised us with Fallout 4. They didn't They told us it was coming, but they didn't tell us when. And I think when Fallout 5 comes, it's going to surprise people. Right now, I don't know. I don't think the gen is good enough for them to make another Fallout game, and I'm pretty sure that's what they're coming to. Their conclusion that they're coming to as well. The gen is not good enough to make another really good Bethesda game right now. Starfield is proof. The gen is not good. Now, how does that work? I'm gonna take a couple of screenshots, and I want to go to the Rust forums through like, dear Facepunch, what's this and what's this? Why is this and why is this? Just wondering. Maybe I should go recycle. Yeah, I think I probably should recycle. What am I doing? I'm putting that stuff away. I have to go chopping ore soon.
Could this mean a spin-off from Obsidian, Arcane, In Exile Entertainment, a different studio? That's kind of the question on everybody's mind. But the big thing about that is that even if there is a new studio that starts development on a new Fallout game, it's still going to be about 4 or 5 years. It's still going to be around 2030 until we get that, which I think is the expectation some have for an inevitable Fallout 5, which could take longer, assuming that the Elder Scrolls 6 is still years away. Now, Fallout London right now, as I've said, it is blowing up. We have this article, Shack News, Fallout London is a treat you shouldn't miss out on. I completely agree with that. And then, yes, many have been pointing out that this just makes a lot of people desperate for another New Vegas, another spin-off experience. But I would say that London kind of achieves that with its content and its overall quality. which again, it's just astounding that this even exists. Now, if you are curious about Bethesda's response to all of this, they have hired developers over the years, brought them into their own Bethesda team. I said before, I think that's really, really cool, but they have actually said absolutely nothing in regards to this mod's existence. The only thing that they've actually done is highlight some of their paid mods for their creation club. That's the only thing we're going to get out of them. The only time that they'll talk about the modding community is when they financially benefit from them through their creation club, which make of that as you will, I suppose. Now, the overall gaming community is over the moon that Fallout London even exists. I think it took a lot of people by surprise with this release. It was pretty darn sudden, but it's also just the fact that the quality is there. This is something that so many of us have been waiting for, and it's finally happened, and there's possibly more on the way. Never forget Bethesda. This is on the Fallout 4 London subreddit. So many people applauding this mod. Sir, another DLC-sized Fallout mod is at the Nexus. And again, there's more on the way. Hopefully those end up hitting the finish line like Fallout Miami, and hopefully they have the same quality. I'm not sure if it will be the case, but I certainly hope so. Another person saying, I'm having a blast playing this. Bethesda better be taking notes for damn sure. And another person saying, after 20 hours of play time, there's some bold statements that they need to make. Fallout London is one of the most important mods ever made in video game history.
It is the most
story development.
It is the most important mod. There's nothing else. The only other mod that I think is close is Skyrim Together, which made Skyrim possible to co-op, right? I think that's the only other mod in history that had the kind of weight that this one did. There's no mod that was as good as Fallout London. I can't think of one. Nope.
Would make this
There's ones that are monumental, but they're not good like this.
Even if its execution hadn't been almost perfect.
There's a good
what
Elder
the team
Scrolls
have delivered is a
Skyrim mod like this too that opens up a whole nother continent and a whole nother game essentially. And I forget the name of it. It's like no, it's not Shivering Isles. It's like I get like Broadmoor or something like that. And it's like the #1 Skyrim mod. And it is like Fallout London. There is another mod like this, and then there's the one that brought co-op to Half-Life called Sven Co-op, and then there was one that brought co-op to Skyrim called Skyrim Together, and then and I believe Skyblivion is actually kind of a really monumental undertaking, and so is whatever it is, Sky Morrowind or whatever. There's like a few mods out there. There's like 5 that are like these monumental lifelong undertakings that are like 5 people just crunching away on code for 50 years when on their Saturday nights, you know.
Loving rendition of an iconic location presented with all the authenticity of a genuine Bethesda.
People are silly. You would think that everybody's like these greedy people that wants all this money and stuff, but nah, some people like to sit around and just do crossword puzzles. You'd be surprised. There's people that like to do really simple things with all of their lives, and I actually think my undertaking as an MMORPG person, the MMO lifestyle, is actually fairly complicated compared to, say, somebody who's famous and rich for playing chess. Someone who's famous and rich for playing Sudoku or Go or something like that, and it's a really niche thing. But I mean, like, you know, but people do dedicate their lives to silly things like making a mod for Skyrim that's their own mod that permanently, like, you know, put their creation into the Skyrim universe essentially, and made themselves part of Skyrim. People really love Skyrim, you know, and I don't mind that. It's just, like, the game itself wasn't that good. Bethesda kind of, you know, the game itself wasn't that good. The combat was not that good. The running was kind of jank. I had to turn it up all the time. The jumping's jank. Half the game is mountains, kind of like 76. And it's sort of, you know, it's one and the same once you actually know what Skyrim is. It's the same dungeons, the same thing. Now that's okay, but for its time, we had 0 complaints. So, you know, I'm being critical. You know, Todd would say that I'm taking shots at him 10 years in the past, and honestly, he would be right. I mean, honestly, at its time, no one had a complaint about Skyrim. It was the #1 game of all time. It still should be the #1 game of all time, but I believe Disco beat it out because Disco has no problems. Disco has no problems. Disco Elysium literally has no problems. I don't believe I've ever heard of a bug with it. I don't believe I've ever heard of a glitch. I'm sure there's stuff in it that people haven't discovered yet. I think there's parts of the story that people haven't done yet. I think there's, like, you know, and honestly, I think Disco Elysium technically is the most perfect game ever made. You could beat the hell out of that client. No, it's still going to perform its little Unity job of giving you a scripted engine, and it, like, for all time. It's going to play for all time, like Tetris or Dr. Mario. Skyrim is not like that, and that's why Skyrim isn't the #1 game of all time. And I hope Todd takes the fucking lesson. Tetris and Disco Elysium are better than Skyrim because they fucking work.
Bethesda release. And the big thing about this game is also 20 hours in, they're not jumping on the nostalgia. They're creating new stuff themselves. Yep. This is something that Bethesda themselves have struggled with. They rely heavily on stuff that they didn't create, the Enclave Brotherhood of Steel. But the Fallout London team created new factions, new gangs. They're all very interesting. They all have their own personalities, quests and such. And I'm just blown away again that a modding team did this. Now, as it continues, Fallout London devs hand out math homework to players who are suffering from a bug that lowers their health points. Now, this is the big thing. Fallout London is a technical mess. It has a lot of problems. I've not encountered too many bugs, but crashing and infinite loading screens is something I have run into. Restarting the game, that's kind of been a fix. There's also Buff Out 4, long loading fix, high FPS fix. Those are a couple mods and Nexus mods that you really just need to have downloaded with Fallout London. But the big thing is that a lot of this is connected to
what did you say?
Run into. Restarting the game, that's kind of been a fix. There's also Buff Out 4, long loading fix, high FPS fix.
Okay, long loading and high FPS, because I was like, those long loads are why I stopped playing the game. I was like, I love this game, but the loads are goddamn 3 minutes, and I will not do this. It's painful. It's painful to be on stream with an audience and have to do a 3-minute fucking load. It actually is. It's like fucking painful. I'll write your game off first. Load times are a big deal now. Basically, we're past that period of gaming where we need load times. You know, you guys should definitely, like, fix that. Oh, got a text. These boxes aren't too good. I'm gonna have to move them. I want a small box right in the middle so I can just jump up easy, I guess, but I'm gonna have to go get a hammer. These boxes aren't gonna work like this. Get a hammer. Oops.
So those are a couple mods.
High FPS.
There's also buff out 4, long loading
times fix.
Fix high FPS.
High FPS physics fix. Okay. Let's go get that done. I would like to get that done. Load Vortex. And we're going to Fallout 4 mods. Yep. And I want to look for, what was it again? It's high FPS physics fix. Oh, get that off. High FPS physics fix, update available. I want you to use Vortex to download this for Fallout 4. Yes. Okay, did we get this? Yeah, we got this. They gave it the not manage and install the currently the games associated with this not manage and install the currently managed game. Cancel. No, games. 7 Days to Die. My Fallout. Oh, okay. Fallout 4. Fallout 4. Right. 2 active mods. Manage. Switching profile. Games. Fallout 4. 2 active mods. Switch the game mode to Fallout 4. Game update. Check again. Mods can't be deployed. Fix. Supply fix. Deployment methods. Next. D. Next. Move deployment. Next. Null deployment. Next. So I'm gonna try and install these mods because I don't think they're gonna be able to hurt this, but I want to make sure that you are. I want to make sure what location you're using. This is on my D drive. Yeah, I moved Fallout 4 off my drive, didn't I? To like F, I think to. No, I didn't move Fallout 4, huh? Or Fallout London? What happened to Fallout London? Is it on D? No. What happened to Fallout London? Did I just get rid of it? I must have gotten rid of it. Or is it E? Maybe I put it on E. Fallout 3, Fallout 4. Nope, Fallout 2. God damn it. Games. Nope, I don't think I have this. Nope. That's unfortunate. So, okay. Manually set location. Steam apps, common, on D. Select folder. I guess we'll just try and see if this fixes it. I guess it must be on the D drive. But that seems odd. I don't know. So, yep. Anyways, did we install this mod? I'm going to try again. Click here. No, cancel. Okay. And then the other one was high FPS, buff out, and load. Right? Long load times or whatever. Load accelerator. What's it called?
Fix. Those are a couple mods in Nexus. And Infinite, it has a lot of problems. I've not encountered too many bugs, but crashing and infinite loading screens is something I have run into. Restarting the game, that's kind of been a fix. There's also buff out 4, long loading fix.
Long loading. Long loading times fix. Vortex. I don't think it'll harm the client to try, but I don't know. I don't think I have Fallout London anymore. I think I deleted it. I don't think I'm going to play that game. I'm having trouble playing single-player games. I just don't really find them as fun.
High FPS fix. Those are a couple mods and Nexus mods that you really just need to have downloaded with Fallout London. But the big thing is that a lot of this is connected to Bethesda, their own engine, their own game. This isn't necessarily a problem with Fallout London.
Yeah,
it
most
literally
of the problem
is just
lies with
the
Bethesda.
technical mess that Fallout 4.
I never thought I would dislike Bethesda, but the last 10 years have not really made me a fan. Now, I'm a big fan because of 76. So, like, honestly, but any of their other fucking titles I'm pretty much disenchanted with now. The only one that sits in my mind that's totally what's the word? Sullied is Morrowind. That's the only title that actually worked perfectly. Oblivion was hard to load during when it was actually the age of Oblivion. Skyrim was hard to run when it was actually the age of Skyrim. 10 years later, they sold us Skyrim 7 times. Fucking Starfield was a complete failure ripoff that bugged and glitched out a 60-hour save on me. Fallout 4 just wasn't a good game in my opinion. It had a lot of really good fucking concepts in it, but the execution was only delivered well in 76. All of the ideas that were good in Fallout 4 weren't good in Fallout 4. They only really started to be fun in 76 when it mattered, when it actually mattered. You know, who cares about building a base in a single-player game? Are you trying to show off for yourself or whatever? That was always my problem with Minecraft. Is Minecraft, I always thought it should have been the best game of all time because people could play with each other, but still, most people play on their own. I think, which is weird because what's the point of like building a base that nobody ever sees? Are you scared of the mobs? Or, I don't know, like, to me, base building is about, like your design being shown to the world. I don't know, maybe it's just different for other people, I guess, you know? For some people, I think it's the grind. It is, and it is for me, too, but I tried and tried to like that fucking settlement system that they did, and it just didn't really, like, you know, it didn't intrigue me the way that 76 did, and then when I played Rust, I was like, oh, 76 is plain bad. 76 is plain bad compared to Rust. It just is. Rust is like 5 times the game that 76 is in every single way, except for the monsters. The monsters in Fallout 76 are clearly superior to Rust, but I mean every aspect of the Rust gameplay is superior to fucking Fallout 76, which is weird because Rust got like 1/100th of the money. But why was Rust more fun than 76? That's fucking weird. Or I should be playing 76 right now. Bethesda, you know, catered me as a client for, you know, 28 years or something. Since I was like 14 years old, I have been a beloved Bethesda fan, you know, that loved every title, bought every title, beat them all, put thousands of hours in them, modded them all to death, and all this other stuff, right? So you would think that 76 would have been their love story back to me, but no, when I played Rust, I was like, oh no, 76 is bad. 76 is actually really bad. It's like bad compared to Rust. The base building in it is bad. The grind is good, but in killing all the monsters is really, really good. And running the dungeons is really, really fun. But it's not even very fun the way the 7 days is fun. It's not fun to build in 76 like it is in Rust. It's not, you know, there's no gameplay loop behind it that makes you care about it. So the building is this thing that you lackadaisically do over like a 2-year period as you're like playing 76. But in Rust, you definitely learn to build your first day. Pretty much your first day, you're like, oh shit, this system's so deep, and you look at all the things that you can make, and you're like, oh my god, this is so much better than Minecraft. And Rust opens up the list right away, second one. Minecraft, you have to go put down a stupid ass table and get your materials together and get a box and then pull the materials out and all this shit. I mean, Rust is the same, but the difference is when you start to surf the list in the first 2 minutes of playing Rust, you're like, oh my god, you can make all this shit, and you're like, oh my god, that's just basic gear. You're like, what the fuck? There's a backpack and all these tools and everything and all the stuff that you can make just on default before you even learn any blueprints or anything like that severely outdoes every other goddamn survival game out there. And I'm kind of sick of the triple anus fucking failing like the Democrats all the goddamn time and condemning us to the Dark Ages. You know, I would consider 76 essentially the Dark Ages. It's not that much better than Fallout 4. You know, it's better than Fallout 4, but it's not that much better than Fallout 4. It's good, but it's basically Fallout 4, you know? It's about the same game, kind of. It's a lot better of a game. The VATS is better, the combat's better, the grinding's better, the building's better. There's more mobs, more dungeons, more content, more story, everything better than Fallout, and more engaging than Fallout 3, Fallout 4, and New Vegas combined. It just is a better game, 76. But when you compare it to something like Rust, you begin to understand that the triple anus has been riding on our royalty money for like 20 years instead of making games, you know? It's stupid. They need to make real games that are actually work, like Disco Elysium, that'll stand the test of time and, you know, and play on anything. But instead, they make these cantankerous bastard games that they want to play well 10 years later. Like, I would say Skyrim plays well now, but it didn't play well in 2013. Fuck no. It did not play well. It was horrible. Some of the loading times on 360, after you've been playing the game for 100 hours, some of the loading times were literally like 25 minutes long on the 360. That was not a fucking good game on the console. It really, I mean, it was a good game, but it just, because it showed us what was possible. But like MMO developers, they made a client that wouldn't run well until fucking Skyrim Anniversary Edition, you know, which was literally like 12 years later. So I have serious issue with the triple anus acting the way that they've been acting, you know. Like, after I go to a to a double A game like Rust, and I see that Rust is clearly superior to World of fucking Warcraft. It's just clearly fucking superior in every single fucking way, from the combat to the, you know, to the fucking sociality, to the farming, to the building, to the fucking, the music, the fucking, well, not the music, but the music's not superior, but it's close. And the fucking, you know, and the sky is more beautiful. The graphics in Rust are better than World of Warcraft. It's full 3D. It doesn't have third person, which is a failure of Rust, but I don't know, maybe finally Face Punch will fix that sooner or later. It needs third person. Really bad. Like, when you're running down the road and you don't plan on farming anything, and you're on your way to some base, and you don't really expect any battle, third person is an asset. It lets you see dogs and shit around you that are behind you. It's actually a really good fucking mode, third person. I don't know why Rust doesn't fuck with it, but it definitely does, like, benefit from not using third person. It's a much more, you know, immersive game. Missed him. Like, it's a skill-based game that I would say even World of Warcraft is not really a skill-based game. Like, honestly, it's like, how well can you write macros and scripts? You know, that's what World of Warcraft is. How well, like, you know, I had a fucking piece of shit dirtbag stalker fucking get in my channel like a couple of years ago, and he was like, I can't stand the way you play. He was like, you constantly run macros instead of playing the game. And I'm like, what do you think MMOs are, you fucking idiot? What did you think a cast rotation is? What do you think cast sequence rotation reset target macros are? What did you think Final Fantasy macros are? They're goddamn scripted rotations. That's all the shit is. That's all the shit's ever been. It's not you dancing around in the fire, or you doing a boss 50,000 times or whatever. That's what MMOs are. They're like scripted rotation macros. Right here, it's attack on, wait half a second, you know, then cast blind, and while you're casting blind for 5 seconds, prepare to do paralyze when blind's done, and after 7 seconds of paralyze, you're going to do 5 seconds of casting Dia, and then after casting Dia, you're going to do 5 seconds of casting poison, and then you're going to cast a slow. That's a dot macro. That's what games like RuneScape and EverQuest did in 1995. And that's what it is still now, today. And I don't know, somebody who is in my channel trying to make fun of me for making macros in a channel called the MMO Lifestyle is like, nah, you're in the wrong channel, brother. You've been playing MMOs all your life wrong, you know? You're in the wrong channel. If you're making fun of me for macros, you're in the wrong fucking channel. Like, seriously, you are playing the wrong industry. You're in the wrong industry. Go back to shooters or something like that. This isn't your industry. If you're making fun of me for making fucking cast sequence macros on all the games I play, like, you know, I don't know, man. I'm sorry, but, like, I don't think you know what MMOs are. I don't think you know how they work. I don't think you know what server ticks are. You know, and that one really irked me. He was a Final Fantasy player, and he was like, why do you script everything you do? You constantly, like, have to cancel spells and all this stuff. And I'm like, well, because this shit is so boring. You do it for, like, 30 years. It's this long-form gaming that is basically, if you couldn't player piano script the goddamn gameplay, it would be so boring you would die of boredom, you know? Thank God for cast sequence rotation macros. The developers made them for a reason, you know. Thank God. And like, and I remember being really offended by that. I was like, okay, you're in the MMO Lifestyle channel making fun of me for cast sequence macros. I mean, I don't know, man. Are you actually an MMO player? I don't think you are. I think you're bad, and you told yourself you were good or something because you click 2 all the time. I don't click 2 all the time. I stopped clicking 2 in 2007 or something like that. Sure, it was cool for like 2 or 3 years, but then my middle finger started to hurt so bad from clicking 2 all the goddamn time that I was like, oh man, I'm gonna have arthritis when I'm older, and I won't be able to play the guitar or whatever, you know? I won't be able to play the drums when I'm older because I'm constantly clicking 2 all the time on my Rogue. And eventually I was just like, nope, I'm running a cast sequence macro, and I'm gonna string it to my mouse key, my mouse 4 key. That was like in 2000 and I don't know, 7 or something. That was like, it was a little bit later. It was like 2010, I think. But still, it was like 2010. We're talking fucking 14 years ago. I straight up stopped clicking my abilities. I think of people who click abilities as bad. We used to make fun of people like that. Oh, look at this fucking keyboard turner. Look at this backpedaler. Look at this keyboard spammer, you know? And we used to literally make fun of people like you. And you come into my channel, like, that was years ago, and it's stuck in my head. And I was like, Jesus Christ, now I've seen it all. Some MMO fucking fat neckbeard piece of shit basement dweller coming in, stalking me and threatening me as usual. Trying to tell me how to live and how to play and all this stupid-ass fucking fascist bullshit. Having issues with how I execute things or who I am or, you know, some fascist idiot, basically some fascist idiot who doesn't like how I play video games or whatever. And it's like, Jesus fucking Christ, your Vol Commandant or whatever. Sorry I use rotation macros, you know? That one stuck with me, and I've been meaning to address that for a long time. I was like, yeah, MMOs are rotation macros. I don't know what you thought they were. I don't know what bad way you've been playing them for 25 fucking years or whatever. But yeah, all of MMOs are rotation macros. Bad. That's what I wanted to say to him, but they're like in your channel patronizing you. So like, you know, all I did, I believe I kicked him. You know, as I remember, I just kicked him. Because I'm like, no, I just don't do bad like you. I've never done bad like you. I stopped clicking my keys like back in 2008 or something like that. I really was like at the top of the world echelon of WoW players. Begon will tell you. You know, it's not some fucking lie. You know, and like, and I just, and you come in and like, God damn, man, and like, and I didn't want to yell at him because they're in trying to patronize your channel, you know, but I'll do it 2 years later, 2 years past the perma ban, you know. Rotations are extremely important. I don't know what the fuck games you were playing for 25 years, but that's like saying that a baseball bat isn't important to baseball. You're a fucking idiot, you know. That's like saying you don't use baseball bats in baseball. You're fucking stupid, you know. Sick of stupidity. Like full-blown stupidity. And this wasn't a troll either. He came coming on an attack, you know. He attacked me. He was like, I can't stand how you press one button all the time and wait for 15 spells to fire off. And I'm like, that's what MMOs are. I have to run a rotation. If I don't run dots on this mob, and I don't run paralyze and blind and dia on this mob, I will be criticized for not running paralyze, blind, and dia. Would you rather press one button and cast 3 spells, or would you rather like hold Alt and hammer the 2 key for 15 seconds and run your middle finger out? You know? Would you rather hold Alt and press 2, or just press your mouse 4 key down and it starts running a rotation for 15 minutes, and I just hold down the mouse 4 key and I do the best rotation and I do the best DPS in the fucking raid and I dominate the charts and I'm better than you? I've always been better than you. And then you come and step to me and you criticize me on the difference between me and you that makes me better than you. It's the rotation macros, and you criticize them. And I'm like, okay. And that one stuck with me. I'm like, oh man, that's like people saying that baseball bats are bad for baseball. You know, that is. I remember that's the thought that I had when I was like, that's like saying water is bad in the desert or something. I mean, you know, MMOs are rotations. They're entirely macros and scripts. That's what they've always been. That's what most video games are. I hate to tell you this, but if you think Ninja is actually good, I'm sorry, you are sadly mistaken. What Ninja actually is running a trainer 2 hours a fucking day, getting perfect settings, perfect mouse keybinds, and perfect scripts and macros on his keyboard, and expensive fucking mouse and keyboard programs and stuff, and holding down a button when he's firing at somebody. And that button is firing those shots at a perfect rate at a certain MS. And if you think that Ninja doesn't, and Ninja's good enough to do the world tourney on a computer without all the mouse programs and all the keyboard stuff, he's good enough. I will not disparage him in that way. But I mean, when he is in his natural habitat and outside of a tourney, he will be running scripted macros on his keyboard, his mouse, his computer. I mean, if you didn't think that the best in the world wasn't scripts and macros, that's why you're not the best in the world, and I am. I'm sorry, you know, and that's what I wanted to say to him at the time, and I let 2 years go by before I insulted him. But I'm going to insult him about his scrub ignorant ass and his weird fucking supposition that baseball bats are bad for baseball, you know? No, MMO scripts and macros are the core of the goddamn industry. It's what makes the games. It's always been that. If you think arena champions are arena champions because they're skilled, you are dumb. You've never been at the top echelon. It's all win trading. It's all fucking kibitzing in a Discord, and it's all mouse scripting and keyboard macros and rotations that run on a mouse 4 key that they're holding down. It's not how you play the game. Never has been, never was, you know? Even in the 80s, Billy Mitchell faced crazy fucking, like, crazy lashback for putting Scotch tape on the arcade machine's cabinet screen to show a direct line between him and where his Galaga bullets are gonna go. So for particularly cheaty bosses, you have to be at a certain point on the screen, or you just die. And without the tape, you can't see it because there's so much shit going on the screen. Billy Mitchell, the supposedly, I mean, the biggest scam in gaming, essentially, the scam artist in gaming or whatever. Billy Mitchell is very famous for putting Scotch tape on his screen. If you thought Billy Mitchell was the greatest Donkey Kong player of all time, you're right. He probably is, you know, just like Ninja, right? But if you think he did it without Scotch tape and scripting and macros and arcade cabinets and all the other shit that all the cheaters use to be the best in the world, you are ignorant and you are not the best in the world. You just told yourself you were. And I think of being the best in the world is, you know what being the best in the world is the most uptight, most anal guy who controls every button press, every fucking beat. They call it beats, right? Or ticks. That's right, they call it ticks. Every tick of the fucking server, he's thinking about what action's going out, what time has passed, what millisecond of the tick it is, what part of the rotation it is. Can he keep pressing the button down, or does he need to break the rotation because something either missed or evaded or resisted or something like that? Does he need to run the rotation halfway through, or does he need to restart it? Does he need to switch to a sustained, or does he need to run a burst macro? Does he need to run all of his potions and flasks to kill this guy? And all that is one single button press. If you thought it was pressing Elixir of Mongoose, pressing your hell pot, pressing your flask of power. No. Since 2003, people have been running rotation macros that would, with one single, well, not one single button press, but with one single button, it would run your Hellstone, your Mana Pot, your Hell Pot, your Burst of Power, your Evasion. All of that's on one single fucking macro that they press one button and it runs all of it. It ran 5 potions and the evasion in a single millisecond of a tick of a beat, right? A beat of a tick, right? And a tick is like the millisecond, or sorry, the second that it takes for the server to recognize what happened in the last second, right? And that's how servers work. Right? And if you think that Ninja isn't perfect at that shit, you are ignorant. You've never been at the top. You've never win traded at the top of the arena ladder. You've never been in tourneys with the likes of Ninja. You've never been at the top. You don't know what it is. And in that criticism, I was like, man, you think I'm bad. No. You've been playing MMOs bad for 25 years. You think I'm bad? No. You've been playing bad. You've been playing bad for 25 years. You're the fucking bad. You know? And now I can't say that to them because they're in the channel and they're patronizing me. But those are the thoughts that I had, and I've been wanting to get this off my chest for like 2 years. Now that guy, he was a crazy asshole. He stalked me for a year. He used to come into my channel and be like, Final Fantasy 11 private servers are evil. Fuck you. Get off this fucking server. I'm going to kill you if you don't get off this server. Shit like that. In all caps, he would come in. He had a serious problem with me playing on private servers. Then a year later, I got him whispering me in my chat on the private server, telling me how sorry he was for attacking me for a year, and how he uses rotations now and all this crazy shit, and how, you know, and all this, and then he sees it from my point of view and all this, and I'm like, great, thanks, and we're friends now. I can even say his name, but I won't, because I promised him I wouldn't, you know? We're like friends now. We don't talk, but we're like friends now. He could be in the channel right now, right? But that was that dude. He was like, I can't stand how you run rotations on everything you do. And I'm like, I can't stand that you don't. You're bad. But I can't say that in the fucking channel because I'm polite, you know? Unless they're actively attacking me. He was kind of actively attacking me, but he wasn't doing it in a way that was disingenuous or mean or bully or anything like that. He actually had like a serious issue with the way that I play MMORPGs. And he brought it up. He was like you constantly script everything you do, and it's like, it's lazy and it sucks and you die all the time. And I'm like, yep, because I don't care. I'm not in a raid. I don't care what you think about me dying. I don't care about dying. It's easier to run back than it is to pay attention to the game. I don't know what your fucking vibes are, but I've been doing MMORPGs for 27 years, and I could give two shits about fucking dying or anything like that. I don't care about dying to some mob. I don't care about dying to some mob in hardcore when I'm level 30. I don't care. I mean, I'm going to have a reaction to it, but I don't care. You know, I don't care about dying or sucking at games. I don't. So, like, you know, so you know, it is weird because you always told yourself that ninjas like shooting the same way that you are. You always told yourself that Sea-Doo was playing Arena the same way that you are. Nope. Nope. If you were good at the game, you would have haunted MMO Champion for 18 years like I did, looking for every single goddamn piece of information, every blue chat, every forum post, every cheat, every exploit, every fucking script, every rotation, every macro, every mouse, every keyboard. Remember when I remember in 2003, the only thing people could talk about at all was the Logitech 615 keyboard, was it 515? 615 keyboard, right? For all year, that was the only thing World of Warcraft players could talk about, because they would say it. They were like, you can program a rotation to a button key on the keyboard, and you can just press the button and the keyboard runs your character for you. That was in 2003. That's how long it's been since your way of playing video games was considered good. It's been not your way, but the guy who criticized me, right? It has been 23 years since people have played video games without scripts, macros, and rotations. 23 years, something like that. And it wasn't very long. It was like maybe 7 years of EverQuest and old school RuneScape and 2 years of World of Warcraft before it was considered normal for the average World of Warcraft player to have a Logitech G 615 keyboard, whatever it was. Here we are 20 years later, and I'm still using a G915 keyboard, but I don't use the keyboard for the macros. I use the mouse. I don't need macros on my keyboard. The only thing I do on my keyboard is Shift, WSAD, and spacebar. That's it. If I have to press F, I will to loot something. And if I have to press E to loot something, I will. And I use Q for turbo or sprint. But that's it. And I use tab to open my menu and V to open my menu and tab to open my map. And I use C to open my crafting or character. That's it. I don't touch anything else. I'll use I'll use the 2 key to switch weapons. All the rest of my macros are on my right hand on my mouse, which is where I do all of my aiming, all of my interfacing, all of my tracking and all of that stuff. So all of my attacks are on my right hand. Right? And I stopped doing left-handed fucking tapping on the 2 key for World of Warcraft in like 2010 or something like that. And I started using mouse scripting in 2015. I started controller scripting in 2018. I started being competitive on shooters in like 2021, and I don't use scripting for shooters or anything like that, but I still have 600 wins on Fortnite, which is proof that the scripting and the macros, I still have like 5,000 hours on Rust as basically, and 3,000 hours of that were like solo play. So like, understand, I'm still a successful solo fucking Rust player, a successful solo duo, trio, quad Fortnite player, a successful platinum level, or was platinum at one time, fucking Overwatch player. And I'm not saying this stuff to brag. I'm saying that I didn't use scripting to get there. It's there if I want to, but I didn't use scripting to get there. I'm still talented and all that. But when the guy took the shot at me, I was like, that's kind of like taking a shot at someone dying of thirst in the desert for drinking water. Rotations are part of the entire fucking... Goddamn, I gotta get away from this NPC. It's driving me crazy. All these people teleporting every second. Hurry up. It's like... Where am I going? It's not Norvalen. It's... Like Qfim, I think. Fucking annoying. Yeah, take me to Qfim. No, that elemental kicked my fucking ass. I can't fight that. I can't fight. I can fight here, but I need XP. I need money. Excuse me. I need money before I can move further on Red Mage XP wise. There's another 1,000 gil. Every outpost teleport is 1,000 gil. What is going on? I have spent like goddamn 75 grand on teleports this month. That is unacceptable. FFXI has never been like that. Fix it. I am going to the Goldsmith Guild, I guess, and I will grind gil for like 2 weeks until I have like 300,000 gil sitting in the bank, and I will buy all the stuff that I need for a Red Mage.
I'm actually a little bit...
So let's listen to the rest of Legacy Killer's Fallout thing, but yeah, you know, I don't know, I'm just... And it's weird because it's like, this is why Bethesda's so bad. These old boomers, they think that everybody kept playing the games like they did in the year 2000. No, everybody evolved. Just because you didn't doesn't mean that everybody else didn't. Everybody else is using, like, okay, if you go on a trainer server for Call of Duty Modern Warfare or Rust, like I could do it right now if you want. I gotta relog Rust anyways, but I could go on a Bed Wars server, and if I were to go on the Bed Wars server, which is, you know, a trainer server where people learn how to shoot guns better. If I were to go onto the fucking Bed Wars server right now, which I can do, I'm logging into Rust. I could do that, but I don't want to because it takes forever. You know, you will hear only scripts. That's it. You'll understand the minute that you hear the gunfire when you step into Bed Wars that every single fucking Rust player is using a scripted mouse rotation to fire their weapon. Every single last one of them. You know, just because you didn't do that doesn't mean that they didn't. Just because you don't play like that doesn't mean that they didn't. They do. And you wonder why people. You wonder why you constantly accuse people of hacking all the time when you're getting killed in shooters and stuff. It is because they are running scripted hacks. They are. They are definitely running mouse hacks and keyboard hacks and you know all that shit. And Ninja's no different. When Ninja's at the tourney, he doesn't use scripted stuff and has to, and this is one of the reasons why he loses tourneys, right? And he doesn't have all his scripted macro mouses and his scripted macro keyboards and all of that stuff. And so tournaments, when they pay like $1 million, like the FN tourney, there's a reason that it pays $1 million is because the gamer doesn't have access to his scripts. You know, that's why those tourneys pay so much money. You actually have to prove to the world that you're actually doing the game. And he can, unlike a lot of the other ones. So can I. And so, you know, but don't get it twisted. When he goes home to his hot wife and his expensive house at night, and he plays Fortnite, he goes back to his scripted mouse and his scripted keyboard, just like me. And trust me, every other truly fucking, like, you know, actually successful gamer that has thousands of hours in the game as a solo player or whatever and has many wins or whatever, right? Any successful gamer will tell you that a reluctance for scripted macros and auto script hotkey stuff and all that other stuff, right? Resistance to that is a resistance to the skill ceiling, because the skill ceiling is the mastery of scripts. It is not the mastery of you aiming your mouse at somebody. Now, there's another aspect of it too, which is tracking. It means putting your cursor where their head's gonna be when you fire the shot. So like, I'm sorry, where their head's gonna be when the bullet arrives where your cursor is. So if this guy's running from left to right, like if this guy's running right here, he's running past the recycler to the right side. You don't shoot at his chest right here. You aim your cursor where his head's gonna be. Right, here's his head. Like a scrub aims at his chest and starts firing shots. A skill player knows that he's only gonna run this direction because you know that left is behind him. He's going to be running this direction because he's facing this direction. So a skilled player doesn't aim at his chest. A skilled player scopes to where his head's going to be, and he moves his head to the player's cursor, and then I think of it as a paper hole punch. Then you you paper hole punch their hole. They line their head up perfectly like a paper hole punch, and then you go click, and you paper hole punch their head. and they die, right? A bat is going to aim at their chest, right? How do you think the best way to reach that end state where you have your cursor where their head's going to be and you're firing the bullet before their head's even there and their head reaches the bullet, right? Their head literally moves up into the bullet's path as the bullet's there. In the real life and in the games, it is the same principle. Don't shoot at them, shoot where they're gonna be, right? And so how do you think they're doing that better than you? They are learning tracking. They're spending 2 hours a day learning tracking so they can do this perfect right sweep. See me trying to do it to where their head's going to be. I have to do it perfectly. You see his eyeball? I've got to do this perfect right sweep to where his eyeball's going to be after he inevitably moves his head this direction because that's the way that he's facing, right? I don't aim at his chest. I move to where he's going to be. And that is... Oh, did I get robbed? No. And that is that is the difference between the world's best players and you. If you didn't know what it was, you'll never be the best player. You'll never be competitive with them. You'll never be in the same circles. You can't sit in the discords with them. You can't talk the same language. You can't step into platinum with them after you've been sitting in the silver ELO for 5 years, right? And still do okay. There's a big difference. Like there's a lot of us don't talk a lot of us actually walk the walk. Like most gamers, they talk the walk, right? But we actually walk the walk. We actually walk the walk. I don't need the scripts or the macros. And honestly, I don't use them very much for anything but looting. I don't use scripted macros for firing my weapon. I use scripted macros for RPG rotations, which I consider to be essentially not cheating, but definitely like operating at a higher performance level than other people because I just understand the game that I'm playing better. And it's sort of unfair because there's no way that a new player will know, like, okay, there's no way that a 12-year-old who's never played video games before suddenly gets a brand new gaming PC and decides that they want to play Fortnite like all their other little friends on the schoolyard that play Fortnite or whatever, right? So they start playing video games for the first time in their life at the age of 12 or something like that. The only difference between me and that person is that the developer did not tell that kid to go run scripted macros and stuff on their mouse and their keyboard. The kid has to go find that out for themselves. And the developer will never tell you that. They don't want you doing stuff like that. That cheapens their game, and it kind of player pianos the entire progress. It's sort of like industrial revolutioning gaming, which is weird because gaming is this thing about recreation. It's not this competitive thing. I mean, it is a competitive thing, but it's mainly about recreation. But when you get down to scripting everything, it sort of becomes a player piano as opposed to a video game, But that's what old school RuneScape and World of Warcraft and Call of Duty and Rust and Apex Legends and CS:GO 2 and that's what all these games are. If you are dying to people in CS:GO 2, it is because they are scripting and tracking better than you. It is not because they are better than you. It is because they just know the rules of the game that they're playing better. And so, and that guy who was so, critical of the way that I was using scripts and stuff I'm sorry, but when you volunteer to the world that you don't do that stuff, you are telling us that you are bad. What did you think computers were? Computers are entirely scripted fucking macros. Have you ever watched okay, do you want to know how they made a 3D plane in MS Paint? They used a dot and then they connected it and they told it to go in a circle, and that's how they got a square box in a 3D plane. Back when I was a kid, they used to have us program scripted macros to get a turtle to make a complete box, which is like, okay, the scripted macro is you make the I'll show you on MS Paint what I'm talking about. They literally taught me this when I was like 5 years old. They were like, here's how you make a scripted macro on a PC at the Moravian Academy that I went to. They were like, here's how you make a scripted macro, right? You get a turtle that starts out at the perfect center of the X and Y axis, right? And then you tell the turtle to go 50 degrees north, 50 degrees east, 50 degrees south, 50 degrees west, 50 degrees north, and 50 or whatever, 25 degrees, east, or whatever the degrees are. I forget, I'd have to actually have the program open to know. That is how you make a box. Now, this is what computing is. This is what gaming is. You thought that it was some program that draws the box instantly. No, it's a script that runs the dot to the north, and then to the east, and then to the south, and then to the west, then to the north again, then to the east, and then back to the south or whatever, or just ends there, or probably more likely ends there, really, right? And that is how you make a voxel box in Minecraft. That is how Notch made a Minecraft cube, right? And you think it's you probably think that it's some PC program drawing a box instantly. I guarantee you probably think it's like a cookie cutter that just comes down to the cookie dough and cuts a perfect square instantly. But no, the computer has to start at point A and track a pixel to north, east, south, west, north, east again to actually create a box and then put that box against another box. And that's how we get 3D planes. You see it? Like, you know, and this is how we get, and I'm not doing so well with it. That's how we get 3D planes. And so any gamer that tells you this scripting is bad is not only stupid and bad at video gaming, they're also in denial about what computation actually is. You know, they're like in denial about basic fundamental things about gaming, and they just aren't a gamer or a true nerd. They're just not a very intelligent person. If they have some issue with you, then I give you this information as a gamer because every year that passes by, we become more scripted and more auto hotkey. Every year that passes by, we get more and more automated. It's kind of crazy. That's what AI is, right? Eventually, the games will play themselves, and you can just sit down and it will be considered legitimate to just sit in front of a television screen and command an AI to play the game for you. That will be considered legitimate eventually by like 2080, you know? And it's shit like me playing Rust while some dude that is constantly trying to shoot at me or whatever will be considered heroic in the modern age, because auto hotkey scripting is taking over all of our realities pretty much. Like AI and all that stuff is taking over our realities, you know? We need stuff to draw the boxes for us. We don't want to draw the boxes. We don't want to write the scripts to draw the box. We want the AI to do that for us, right? So, yeah, never ever accept judgment for using outside tools beyond, you know, ESP or full-blown hacking and stuff, or aimbot or something like that. And even then, if it's a single-player game, who cares what you do to cheat your own single-player game? I've never thought that was bad. I think it's bad if you're a speedrunner and you're cheating to get a speedrun result, but I don't think it's bad to cheat a single-player game. I really don't. I think the only person that affects is you. So, you know, so honestly, I don't even really have that like negative of a view of cheating as long as it's a single player game, you know. But I do have a negative view of cheating on a multiplayer game, and I have a negative view of people who don't use scripts and auto hotkey and mouse macros and, you know, and keyboard macros. I have a negative view of people who consider themselves like holier than thou because they don't use the tools to master the games that everybody else does, because they don't understand how computation works, you know. That's not my fault. But and this was one of the reasons why I shut off the chat, is I began to understand that most of the chat was there to criticize everything that I was doing. So then I write my little thesis paper about how auto hotkey scripts are acceptable in the modern age and are expected in the modern age, and what makes Attorney great is the people aren't using auto hotkey scripts, you know. But I mean, the average gamer, even 12-year-olds, are definitely using programmable mice right now. You know, they definitely are. So don't kid yourself. Just because you're some old boomer who got behind the times and never actually knew a skilled players who told you how to play the game correctly or whatever, that doesn't mean that other people had lives like that. Just because you're bad doesn't mean that everybody else was, you know.
Afraid to make this video, and
in this Chungus video, right? So anyways, we'll finish the Fallout London bit, and I'll go back to Rust now, and you know, and all that. But I just, you know. And I'm sorry, and I wish I could have given the lecture at the time when the person was criticizing me, you know? Because, like, honestly, I feel like honestly, they need the help. It's not that I want to lord it over them or prove it over some point to them. It sounds to me like that person is bad, and they need to understand what a Logitech, like, G-Hub program is, or like, you know, a Razer Naga program is. Like, you know, this seems like they're kind of bad, and that they've been playing MMOs badly for 27 years or something like that, and considering everyone else to be bad. No, you're the bad. every gamer I know uses every tool that they can get their fucking hands on. If they are on a professional level or trying to be semi or like me or trying to, you know, trying to be the best in their fucking circle or the best in their game, they'll use whatever fucking tools. And if you and life is like this, by the way. Life is like this. This is a Darwinism thing. If you think that everybody's a nice guy, you are a fucking idiot. Everybody uses every advantage and every cheat and every cut corner and every AI macro and every AI, you know, script writing bot and all this stuff that they possibly can. Everybody does. Every Hollywood script is written by AI. Every athlete is a doper. They're all like this. Trust me, they have some form of it. If it's not blood doping, it's gonna be supplements, something like that. Lance Armstrong did not get how he was without supplements. You know what I'm saying? Mark McGuire did not, you know, get who he was without supplements. It's not straight up, you know. It's not straight up steroids because there's rules, but I mean anything that they can do. Trust me, they probably send them to Japan once a month to get some kind of crazy shiatsu therapy and shit like this on a private plane, you know, or whatever, like whatever current athletes at the top of their game, right? Who's the top of the NFL? I don't even know. And so, you know, and if you think that humans don't cheat in everything that they do, if you think that humans don't lie in everything that they do, that is your own goddamn naivety. Naivety was a word that came up with their generation a lot. They're naive. There's two things about their the 15-year-olds right now that are definitely true. They are naive. They think they know how to run the world because they have access to Google. But no, they're incredibly naive. They don't know how to make it on the streets. They don't know how to have a real job. They don't know how to read books. They don't know how to do math. They're incredibly fucking naive. Now, not all of them are like this at all, but a bunch of them are. They think that the calculators and the cell phones and the Google are going to carry them into the future. That is just not the case. You do have to cover the foundations of understanding knowledge. You do have to actually do that, you know? And so then there's two things that comes up. When they realize that they plan to just Google their way through every single problem, they get what's called imposter syndrome, right? And they realize that they are an imposter because Google is essentially propping them up, you know? All the information that they get for their job or all of their tricks comes from some forum or, you know, all of their ideas come from X or all of their ideas come from YouTube. And when it comes time to actually have your own energy, your own knowledge, your own, you know, your own like execution, your own style, your own everything, they just think that Google's going to carry them through their branding or tell them how to be a good public speaker or something like that, or tell them how to survive in the ghetto or how to survive if the power grid goes down or anything like that. They don't know shit about that. They think that Google's just gonna fucking carry them through it. And that is not the case. It will never be like that. I hate to shatter that illusion, but that illusion is full blown. You know, it is naive. Eventually, you will have